Oh, Front Street, all right.
We're gonna start.
Your
We are recording.
time's up, Mimi.
Be heard.
Let's just be like.
Ms. Beanie, we can be heard. So
We're
good
live.
evening. Welcome to, what month are we in? February? February.
Quality
Quality of life meeting. Yeah, shortest month of the year. Quality of life meeting. I'm Pat Moore, the chair.
Happy Black History Month.
Mariama James, who is the co-chair. And Zach, it's Balmer,
Palmer,
yes, who is our district manager. And this is our committee and our guests. So we're gonna start, what are we starting with? We're starting with, we don't have Officer Donald Keck come tonight. Oh, we started? No. If you have something though, next Thursday. No, I know, but next Thursday is the first precinct. The council.
Is that in person or?
That's in person. It is next, it is the 29th.
Is
Okay.
Tammy joining us from the
Do
Hamptons?
we have the DDC for Nassau Street here?
Yes, we had them on the line.
Okay, great,
Norbert.
great. So
That's
we can
first up.
start.
Okay, you want me to follow you guys up?
So who's online?
Tammy.
She's joining us from the Hamptons.
In the Hamptons?
Someplace with trees.
Oh, yeah. Oh, it's.
That's not the next, that's that.
That's her background.
Their white furniture.
Oh, sure she was in the Hamptons.
I've been in the
Make believe. So who do we have online?
Norbert, but we can start. Norbert, we will go through the presentation. We have the project in order.
Okay.
Anybody I should move over? From your team?
Norbert.
Robert?
Yes, I'm not sure.
Or,
Marlene, Laura. Amelia. We can't.
Frankie. Frankie, you want to come in?
Hey. And now I'm the only public member.
You got until Friday.
I'm not this year.
So, we can start now.
Sure.
So good evening, everyone. I'm Bashar from the Department of Design and Construction. Every meeting we come here, give you an update regarding the project that's in the area. Tell you if there are any delays and any community issues, and what we are coordinating with the other utilities. For the first project, we have West Broadway, they will give us an update right now.
And just describe the project. You know it, you're on, we're filming, Describe the project and just tell us.
And we go to the next slide, please.
So my name's John.
West
Strong.
Broadway?
I thought we were doing that.
No, we're doing according to what they want to do.
Okay.
Not following the chief.
My name is Gerald Estrella. I'm the RE for the reconstruction of combined sewers on West Broadway. So that's from West Broadway, from Thomas Street to Leonard Street. So this job. Um, So it's a sewer reconstruction job, but then we also included a water main work. So we upgraded sewers for the project, so from 12-inch combined sewer to 15-inch. And then we also had a number of water main work. So we replaced 12-inch water main with new 12-inch water main, upgraded 20-inch water main to 24-inch water main, and another 12-inch water main to a 20-inch water main. And we also installed 2 hydrants.
Hydrants.
Yes, 2
Oh,
fire
great.
hydrants.
Fantastic.
And so most of the underground work is complete, sewer work is done, water main work, that's all done. So for the last month or so, last 2 months or so, we've been doing kindness and utility work. So that's all been done, we finished last week. So the remaining portion of our project is just roadway reconstruction and sidewalk. You guys can move to the next slide. So that's the water main work that I was talking about. It's the, so those are all the water mains that we replaced on the project. You guys can see the 12-inch, what we replaced, what was the existing and what was the new that we installed. So that's all done. That's been completed. Next slide. And this is the sewer work that we installed. So those are the 12-inch combined sewers that we replaced with new 15-inch sewer. And we also installed two new A1 manholes and the new sewer chamber. That's also all done. You do the next slide. And this is just the work remaining. So for city work, for completed work, we did one sidewalk between Worth Street and Leonard Street. So that's part of the job is done. But then we also have roadway reconstruction is remaining and just sidewalk. So that's all we have remaining for the project. Anticipated completion date, that's still ongoing for 6/29/2024.
So complete 6/29.
Yes, of this year.
And so what does the street look like, the roadway look like now?
All right, yeah, it's just,
It's open?
it's open. We have one lane, always have one lane. Now it's kind of an emergency happens, but it's just one lane open. It's just asphalt, it's temporary asphalt. So that's where the roadway reconstruction comes in. Put new concrete road base, and then we put asphalt, and then we're doing a temporary, not temporary, line striping for the walkways and the crosswalks.
So we won't have back the entire street until 6/29?
Yeah, for now.
Please finish by. So we get the street back,
It's looking likely, unless anything like,
unless we have a major snowstorm or something.
something like that.
Did I hear Tammy?
No, it's Jared. I actually had a question on that. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Hi.
Yeah.
So it's down to one lane of traffic, and on the weekends when you guys don't have anybody working there, it's still down to one lane of traffic. And the problem is that it ends up backing up pretty much every roadway in the area because there's no traffic management program in place. Is there anything that can be done about that?
No, not for the weekends, because then so for those, we have permits, DOT permits that allows us to have empty storage. So right now we need those, that's why it remains closed for storage of materials. So you need those materials for whatever.
Right,
the
but-
contract is for. For
Emergency
weekends.
vehicles can't get through there, even though it's down to a single lane with no.
Have it so that emergency vehicles can't get through?
Well, DOT allows, the different DOT stipulations allows only for one lane. But then for emergency, I guess if there's cars coming, they have to. I
If
guess
it's backed
move,
up.
yeah.
Does that happen, Jared, every weekend, or
Pretty much every weekend, yep.
have you guys taken a look at that?
It's the first time we hear about it,
Okay.
Yeah,
but I mean, the MPT that we put during the weekdays is designed to take care of pedestrians, bikers, and the vehicles. Right now, we cannot work the weekdays and we come up with a new highway pattern for all the vehicles to go just for the weekend.
No,
It will
no,
be safer for everybody to have it in a way.
Person.
No, no, the traffic,
A traffic cop,
not to be, that's
safety person,
I mean,
pedestrian person.
So we always have flaggers when we have the lights. I'm not working, we are doing work on the lights, traffic signals. But if the traffic signals are working, there's no need. It's just like there's.
But there,
extra-
it seems like there is a need, if emergency vehicles are getting backed up, if there were somebody there, a traffic cop,
They
that
could
could
flag.
wave people through the light.
I mean, we always, before we
People
set up
standing
anything,
there.
before we get the permits from DOT, we reach out DOT, we reach out to NYPD firefighters. They know the situation. We never got a complaint. Now, if we receive a complaint, we will look into it.
Hey, Pat, can I chime in real quick, Pat?
Okay, go ahead, Jared.
Pat, so I hear the concerns, but please understand the flaggers we have on the job are for pedestrians, right? They're not for pulling traffic through. That's an NYPD traffic enforcement agent.
Right, but-
they are the ones that have to pull traffic through.
Right, but I'm talking about for pedestrians. You know, the pedestrian need doesn't end on the weekends. It doesn't end at 5 o'clock on a Friday. So what you have is you have.
So now that's twofold, because in the beginning you spoke about traffic being backed up. So now there's a second. So I just want to understand, is there a second issue with pedestrians as well?
Well, it's the same. It's the same issue. If the intersections are gridlocked and the crosswalks are blocked, and there's one lane of traffic and it's
But then
filled
there's
in all directions.
that becomes a traffic, again, traffic enforcement. It's an LAPD issue. You know, they are the ones that pull traffic. Our flaggers are not allowed to pull vehicles.
But I'm not, again, I
They,
think we're
they
talking
pull pedestrians,
guys,
right? So
guys,
I just wanna,
semantics here.
I just wanna address your concerns, right?
Hold on a second. Frankie, is it possible to get somebody out there to just take a look at it this weekend?
I don't even think Joe, they're not working this weekend, correct? They don't work weekends, correct?
We're not working this weekend. Yeah, we're not working this weekend.
But even though they're not working.
It's,
still
exactly.
like
It's not
So
about
is
them
it
working or not, but it's still down to one lane.
the traffic. So is it just possible to get somebody to take a look at what's going on?
That's something that we could bring back and we could discuss that and then, we could look at that. We'll look at, we'll reach out to the project and then we'll discuss that and then we'll come up with an answer for you guys.
Okay, so can we talk
Thank you.
to one Monday just to see what's going on?
Again, there's, you know, the project is stipulated for maintaining one lane. That's a traffic stipulation
But
issue
we're
that,
not arguing about the one lane. We're not arguing about the one lane. We just want to see if we can, what the situation is, what it looks like, and then come up with a solution, whether it's a flagger or, you know, we have to ask the first precinct, whatever it is.
it's a first precinct, it's more of a first precinct issue. It's not an active construction issue.
Okay.
Well, but
There's no
Okay, so
active construction.
okay.
So just so everybody knows, our contract calls for flaggers for construction activity only.
Hi,
So
Frankie
we
and
can't have,
Pat. Hi, this is Marlene from DDC Outreach. Jared and Pat, if you guys could also forward us an email with these concerns and what your requests would be, we can work on those just to have something in writing. Do we need to reach out to NYPD or DOT regarding these concerns? I believe the liaison for this project is Amy. I'm not sure if she's on, but Pat, I could forward you her email address.
Did everybody hear, did you hear that?
She was
You
breaking
were
up.
breaking up. So I know you wanted to send you an email.
Yes, please, with all the concerns that are mentioned here and what exactly the location is, and we could look
Okay.
into it.
I think just to be clear, no one's trying to lay blame and say like you did something. We're just saying that if this is a problem,
Can we look?
it needs to be addressed. You know,
Yeah.
can you go about having it addressed, or do we need to do that ourselves? Because this has happened before, and I actually called the police once when I witnessed it. When emergency vehicles couldn't get through. That's something that really upsets me when I see that. So if we can avoid having to call the police or putting somebody in jeopardy, let's do that, whoever does it.
And you know, we all generally work really well together. So let's get an email to you guys and then, you know, if somebody can look at it and then we can discuss it Monday, what the problem is. Ready?
We've done that because I'm going to pivot slightly. There's like asphalt on the sidewalk over there. Is that y'all's doing? And is that where y'all going to clean up?
Asphalt on, do you know which side of the street?
Where does it say sidewalk restoration, I guess?
In front of 60 Hudson Street?
Oh, no, it's actually on the other side. So if we're looking at it right here, it's right of Worth Street, I believe. And it's where the pink is.
Oh, no, that's, I don't know, when's the last time you visited, but we did that, I think, a week ago. So we did
I think
sidewalk.
you have more pictures if you want to
Yeah.
go for them.
We could show the pictures.
that's just
for the next
completely
slide.
work.
I thought if you're talking about the one at 60 Hudson Street, that still needs to be done. There's temporary asphalt there. They're doing condensate and utility work for the building.
Okay.
That needs to be done. But
Okay.
I think the one that you're talking about, I think in front of the pet store. Is that the one that's
No.
by the law school?
No, it's across the street and further down.
On the other side of the street, where the parking lot is?
In front of Starbucks or? in front of 60
Uh,
Hudson Street? 60 Hudson is that big.
The
building?
hair
I
place?
think it's, yeah, it's the hair.
The hair place.
Yeah.
Which is between Starbucks and parking
Yeah.
lot.
We're not replacing any sidewalk. We only did a fire hydrant there. We're gonna replace the sidewalk there.
Okay, I mean, I can send you pictures, but like, it's like just straight up asphalt, and I think I've asked repeatedly, and y'all are like, oh, we're replacing it with granite, or whatever, or concrete,
If
or
you're
whatever,
walking by, could you send me pictures?
and it's not that. Also, when can neighbors expect like jackhammering to stop? Has that stopped? Because I was just like by there like last week in the morning, and I was like, this is horrible, and it starts real early, and I don't live there, but so I'm like, I'm sure.
Which day of the week?
Honestly can't remember. So it could have been like a weekday.
Because they're allowed to start at 8 on the weekend.
I know, but this was probably earlier than that, and that's why I was like, and it was. It
We're
was a
still,
whole
so
lot going on.
for roadway reconstruction, we're still gonna be using the machine. I don't know if we're gonna be using jack cameras. So the excavator, we're gonna still need to excavate the temporary asphalt to pour, then we're gonna have to pour concrete road base.
Doesn't temporary, whatever you said, doesn't it sound like a jackhammer?
I don't know, the machine, well, the road base is already gone, so that's because when we installed the water main, concrete road base was there, and then we took it out. The machine. So we're just gonna use the machine, but it shouldn't be any road base, because usually it's a concrete, sometimes you need to use a jackhammer, but it should just be temporary asphalt and then, backfill. But in terms of like jackhammer, actual
Shouldn't be
concrete,
jackhammer.
I don't think so, but I'll
So
check.
maybe it was that one time.
So the jackhammering's gonna, like, is a lot of the loud stuff over now? Cause Worth
Well,
Street's been suffering for years now with
Yeah.
construction.
A lot of years.
Well, excavation.
Crane fell.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
We still have to dig up the roadway to put in new grooves.
Mhm.
Sidewalks. So, I don't know how, it's probably not as loud as jackhammer, but it's still gonna be pretty.
Okay.
And I'm sure
May
that
not notice.
business hates it too, the pet business, because like, we can't walk by there with dogs, because my dog, who doesn't care about anything, like freaks out.
So this has happened more than once?
It's happened a couple, well, honestly, I try to avoid it mostly, because I don't, I can, but like, I'm sure, again, people that actually living right there, and with pets, because there's a pet store, are running into that issue. So I'm just trying to be aware of timelines. 'Cause,
And part of the question, I think, isn't necessarily a jackhammer per se. It could be any piece of equipment that is extremely loud and vibrating. So what you're saying is the excavator is extremely loud and vibrating?
I don't know if it's vibrating, but, well, when it moves around, it probably will vibrate up things, but.
But it's very loud.
Yeah, I guess, I wouldn't say it's, personally, it was not as loud as a jackhammer, but it's still pretty.
And that's the next loudest piece of equipment.
Yeah, because we still, it's temporary asphalt right now, and we need to take off the temporary asphalt, put in concrete road base, and then put in new asphalt. So that's the work we're making. And then we also have to pour sidewalk.
Okay, so are you out on the site a lot of the time?
Yeah, we're on.
So just check and see about the jackhammering or whatever that noise is.
Okay.
Let us know, please. Is that it?
Yeah, I just have pictures of, in the next slide.
I always like to see the pictures. Yeah. Can you see any of the asphalt in these pictures? Oh, okay. There it is.
Sidewalks at the bottom, that's the one in front of the pet store.
Yeah, so they just replaced that, so they're replacing that.
Yeah.
This is on the other side, I guess it's 60 Hudson.
60 Hudson, yeah, but 60 Hudson, that one between Thomas and Wood Street, Con Edison had a utility work there, that's still temporary asphalt. We're gonna replace that with new sidewalk.
Okay. All right, so far, we're checking
And I
on.
think the rest is just pictures. I think the
Checking on
last slide is just
traffic.
Con Edison work that we were doing, that's all done. That's it. Do you have any more
Thank you.
questions?
Any more questions?
You said June, end of June?
Oh, yeah, June
June 29th.
29, 22.
Yeah. Okay. And again, you'll be back, February, March, you'll be back in April. So if there's anything that hasn't, anything that's not working out, you'll let us know.
Yeah, we'll let you.
Okay, but hopefully we'll get the email to you hopefully tomorrow and then we'll try to
Yeah, we'll get
check
back
on
to you on
Monday
the-
just to have a
yeah,
conversation. To see what, try to talk.
Okay.
Who's who's that?
Tammy, sounds like.
Hi,
Hey, Tammy.
I just have one quick question for them. The Bank of New York Mellon is going to come next month, I believe, right? Zach, I think can
Mhm.
confirm. When they come, can this project also have one person who just attends virtually? Just because I want to, if we're going to ask questions about the connectivity between the two projects, when one ends and when one begins, it'd be really great to have everybody on the same page at the same time so we get a full photo of what's going on.
Sure, Tommy, we can have someone join next month.
This is West Broadway.
She's talking about Greenwich Street.
Oh, we have. Okay.
The slide is up.
Are you talking about the ball?
Yeah.
I mean Greenwich Street, apologies.
Yes, Tammy, we can have someone join next month as well.
Thank you. All right, for Greenwich Street, great.
Okay, good evening, everyone. Philip Stafford,
That's right.
liaison, the reconstruction of Greenwich Street. So, most of you already know the job, if you walk in the area, the total roadway reconstruction. It's, in 2 phases. We're gonna do all of the work from Barclay Street to Murray Street, restore everything before we move from Murray Street to Chambers Street. And like Tammy, like you said, that's because we're coordinating with BNY Mellon, so we can kind of lessen the overall, impact of construction on the neighborhood. So what we're doing right now, or I said it's total roadway reconstruction, there's water main work. This is a joint bid job, so there's Con Edison and ECS work, which is Empire City Subway, which is telecommunication ducts. So as we're working right now, it's, all of the work is kind of together. We're installing the water main, but to install the water main, we have to move all the utilities. So that's all ongoing. And visually, when we're done, the takeaway from this job is on the west side of Greenwich Street from Barclay to Murray, the curb will bump out in 3 areas. So a very 20-foot bump out. The street will be much more narrow. And that complicates things with the utilities because we have to move a lot of utilities.
What's a bump out for?
The bump out, well, I think it's a pedestrian safety thing. You have BMCC right there, so you have a lot of traffic back and forth. So I think it's a 70-foot street right now. It's very wide, so it'll come down to 15 in 3 locations. So that's my understanding.
Just out of curiosity, so how does it help us say?
It makes it go much shorter.
But I mean, so you had a straight street,
Yeah.
now we're gonna have a curve,
No,
back in, a curve, back in.
Straight, you're just gonna have less street.
Smaller.
Maybe
smaller
snap it
street.
out.
Take the corners of, parking, and then you fill it in with sidewalk, and it's called daylighting.
No, but I'm saying, does it look like this? Then it goes like this?
Yeah, but this is parking,
Uh-huh.
so you don't lose like continuity in the street.
What's
Yeah,
parking?
There's angled parking.
Yeah, it's parking where.
So the parking goes like this?
Uh-huh.
No. This is the parking is like this.
So in between the bump outs, they have parking?
Yes,
Yes, exactly. Which the
Okay.
parking was like that before. So we'll put the parking back, but like you said, Zach, it'll be in the bump out.
How does it make it safer for pedestrians?
You can
Yeah,
see,
how does that make it safe?
Is this the,
Well, I think-
Driver can
is this daylighted?
driver can see. So people trying to cross, they don't like jet out from behind a parked car. They could see them actually like.
But the bump outs are in the middle of this, so we have a street, the
Yes.
bump outs are in the middle.
No.
They're only at the ends?
Mhm.
Corners.
Only at the corners.
There's one in the middle as well on our.
Oh, no,
In the middle.
So you'll have the bump out here and then parking, and then it comes out and goes straight, and it equals with the other parking and the other bump out here. So it's just 2 sections of parking, and then the street kind of the curve comes out 3 ways.
Can you have a picture of
Yeah,
it?
do you have?
So the website has something called the curb extensions. We also are gonna be doing that on Lexington Avenue in the Glenville project, which is how we give, like Zach mentioned, the pedestrian will be more approachable on that sidewalk for the driver to see the pedestrian. So it's only on the corners where the pedestrian will move much closer.
But so, okay, if it's only on the corners, I understand it, but
Yeah.
if it's in the middle of the street, I'm just trying to get a sense of, so are
You
you
gotta
encouraging
remember-
people to cross in the middle? of
You
the
have to
street?
remember where like BNY Mellon is and where a lot of people are coming out there, and there's like kind of a big pedestrian right there to cross the street to get to both BMCC and whatever, I forget what number that building is.
It's like there was a mid-block crosswalk.
Yeah.
Cross.
So it is a mid-block crossing.
Yeah, and on the corners as well. And that was existing, but it was just a regular street. Because like you said, there's BNY Mellon, there's a lot of foot traffic, BMCC, obviously, there's a lot of foot traffic. Tomorrow if DOT has the better picture on the website.
So-
I can send you a,
We've got, number 7,
yes.
right? And then we've got the bookstore, Barnes and Noble on the side, and then we got the
Yeah.
streets. Okay, so on the corner where there's Barnes and Noble, we're gonna have a bump out, and on the corner where we've got number 7, we're gonna have a bump out. And it's a
Barnes
plus.
and Nobles is actually,
Yeah, of course.
that's a block away. Yeah.
And then in the middle, we have a bump out, which will be in front of Fetterman Hall.
On the other side, it'll be on the other side.
I know,
Thanks.
yeah, I know it's on the other side.
Yeah.
So, but there is a street there, so that makes sense to me then that there's a bump
Yeah.
out there. Okay, now I get it. I
When
understand.
you see the DOT drawing, it makes sense. I don't know if I did
Okay.
the best.
Tammy has
explanation, but-
Tammy?
Do you, Do you think you have the DOT drawing by any chance with you or accessible to those who are online from your team? That's my first question. And my second question is, what Murray Street is an absolute blessed mess. I'm sorry. In between Greenwich and West Broadway, it is a nightmare over there, both for pedestrians, for cars. I mean,
Yeah, for bikes.
for everybody. It's difficult to walk the sidewalks.
You're saying Murray Street between Greenwich and West Broadway?
Yeah, it's a mess.
Yes.
Hold
Yeah,
on, right?
this is, we just had a big meeting about this last week. Just a little backstory very quickly. Initially, we were just supposed to install Con Edison ducts into an existing manhole there. When we excavated the street, the entire manhole is basically collapsed, just barely anything holding it together. And there's primary electric lines running through it in multiple directions.
Very
So,
dangerous.
Yeah, we need guidance from Con Edison, which we're getting now. And that is like one of our priorities is to get that backfilled. It's been there too long. Fortunate thing is our DeFazio, our contractor, can't do that work for the most part, specialized work. But I think last Wednesday, we had a big meeting and that's kind of what we'd like to get cleared up.
So I think what was the underlying in that, because it's my question too, is when is it going to get slightly better? Because that whole thing is.
So maybe I could chime in, like what Phil said, we had a big meeting last week. We put the onus on to Con Edison and said, look, we've had this open for quite a long time. We need answers. We need a commitment for specialty crews to identify the issues, to work on the failing structures, and make safe the whole area. So we're working with Con Edison. We're pushing them, trying to get a better schedule of when they could commit crews to get this addressed. So unfortunately, our contractor is not able to do the specialty work because it's live electrical feeders. We're waiting on Con Edison for their support team, more or less. But this is on our radar. We have expedited this issue to their higher ups, and we've told them as of last week, we want to have the Murray Street issue resolved sooner rather than later. So we need a commitment from them to have the stuff identified and addressed.
Any idea when, I'm sorry, any idea when they will be getting back to you? Did you give them a deadline?
Supposedly there was a big meeting, a follow-up meeting on their end, with their specialty crews and their unit. They were supposed to get back to us sometime this week. I was actually going to give them a call tomorrow just to follow up my counterpart on their end to see what the status is. But this is an ongoing. This is on our radar that we're trying to get this thing addressed, and we are pushing Con Edison to get this thing resolved.
Okay. Is that a, like, pun intended, a roadblock to the work that y'all are doing? So like, has the work that you're supposed to be doing,
So that's a very good question. That does not impact our critical path work. We're able to do the other Con Ed work.
Okay.
But we do want to do that before we restore the entire area. But it's not, that specifically is not keeping us from doing something tomorrow. And a considerable amount of work has been done at the location already. We just need Con Ed to come and do the remaining electrical.
So Con Ed was not aware of the work that needed to be done before you started your project?
Yes, my understanding, especially that manhole, that was it's in very bad shape.
Yeah, that manhole's in really poor shape. I think 3 out of the 4 walls are collapsed. So the issue was they wanted to have it rebuilt, so they were trying to get our contractor to rebuild it. But if you ever walk by the site and you look into that little area, you can see the wires, how dangerous it is for somebody to work in there to rebuild a new manhole, which is what the problem is, right? Our contractor wants to work safely. We want to ensure that their workers are protected and safe. But in order for them to do that, we need Con Edison to commit crews to make those cables safe. So this way that they're able to work in there, rebuild the manhole, and get out of the location.
Yeah, right.
I want to follow up. Brandon, thank you very much for finishing the end of my question. That was absolutely perfect. And the question on the roadblocks made me chuckle. I wanted to ask about the bus stops. And what does an ETA look like about those bus stops? Because they don't necessarily serve the common. All the bus stops have been moved from the Murray Street intersection entirely. and it has not had the best communication on that. You know, their signs are gone. It's you're asking people with groceries to then hike another block east. It's not great. And I'm wondering what the timeline looks like on the reinstatement of buses in terms of the entire project and what's going on the Murray Street side.
Yes, so we have work to do where the bus stop originally was, so we can't, it won't move back there for some time. Originally, we reached out to the MTA, our idea was just move it towards the highway, move it towards West Street, there's a lot of areas, there's a lot of space there. They said because of an operational issue, they couldn't put it there, so it was relocated to Murray Street back by West Broadway. I went by the other day, she has a sign, weatherproof sign up, I can check if it's still there. But we do, Tammy, we do have a lot of work in the intersection as well. But I guess one good thing about the phasing, when we finish this phasing, we'll be able to put the bus stop back and restore the whole road and everything. But it's gonna, you know,
Any
it's gonna be,
clue how long it will take for this phasing?
months.
Months.
That's a dangerous situation because there's two-way traffic right there on that corner. And the cars are trying to make that
Yeah.
right turn, that little narrow right turn.
Yeah, I know, I agree with you. Right now, we're in an awkward situation. And at the intersection of Greenwich and Murray Street, we have Con Ed work, we have like 10 or 15 feet of work we need to do. And then we can put all the traffic together on the south side of the street, which will be much better because you won't have this bump and, or this little area in the middle. So we're really trying to get that done. I'm not gonna say Con Ed is holding us up everywhere, but this is kind of
They're
the nature.
a lot of the time.
The nature of this work is, there's a massive amount of utility work to be done.
Go ahead, Jessica.
Thank you, sorry. So my question, thank you for the presentation. My question is, as I'm looking at it, once you get to Murray Street, Greenwich just opens up really wide. And you've got cars parked sort of, I'm gonna call it horizontal to the curve, it's diagonal. And so when you're saying, I mean, you can look at them talking, right? So
Not right now.
It's not
There's
open,
no
not
way
right now.
not right now, because it's
Justine.
all under construction, right?
Yeah.
But that's what it was. Originally, it was like
There's
this.
one
Yeah.
lane on Greenwich Street between Murray and Park.
And it's gonna stay as on one, that's my biggest question is, what is it gonna look like when we're done?
That will be, I believe from Murray Street to Barclay will be one lane, and you'll have the parking like that again, like, I don't know,
Like
what is
the-
it, like angled back?
Between the
Yeah.
bump outs.
Yeah.
Yeah, so the parking will roughly go back that, but it'll be in between the bump outs, exactly.
So you're gonna start, in between the bump outs, and so you're gonna lose some parking spaces because of the bump outs, which is fine,
There's a couple.
at the ends. Okay, thank you.
There's gonna be, there's like, on the street drawings, street marking plans, there's like an area where they, you know, you can't park here on the edge.
Right, that makes
Well,
sense.
not long before this work started, they'd already taken those parking spaces and
Yeah,
attributed them to some agency, government agency I don't remember ever hearing of before.
It's OMB.
Somebody,
yeah.
it was like, who are these people? But they got the parking spaces. So it
yeah,
doesn't matter.
sorry, I'm looking at pre-construction Google.
So
Yeah.
when do we think will be completed with this?
Monday,
I'll get back to the timeline here. So we have a new completion date for the entire project, which is 10/21/25. So our original completion date was November of this year. So we're a little, like 10 months behind. There has been a lot of work added and there's delays. So, for phase one up to Murray Street, which I can, you know, it's most of the work. We have May of 25, which is over a year. Now, we could shave some time off of that if we had more Con Ed specialty crews available and we could get them out there to do work.
And also, you know, we always request that if there's any way to get back any part of the street as you
No, absolutely,
complete
yeah.
a section. to
We're,
please-
even today, once they get 10 feet that makes sense and we know nothing's going there, we backfill it, temporary pavement for now, and just really try to close up because the contractor does not want to work like this. It's
What
not.
about Barclay? Y'all taking up a lot of spots on or like, we had even talked about it and then y'all were like, oh, well, we're thinking about it. And then like the next week, Barclay was a freaking mess. And that's like a main thoroughfare to West. So that's.
Yeah, so we, no, I know, it's crowded. We have a traffic lane open at all times. To expedite the work going forward, and maybe not this weekend, but next weekend, DOT's granted us a closure from Greenwich Street from Park Place to Barclay, so we can do Con Ed work on Saturdays. Otherwise, we wouldn't be able to do it in the intersection. So
So then y'all are gonna be jackhammering. Y'all
not
gonna be tearing up the street.
Yeah, but if it's on Barclay, nobody listens.
Well, we,
I live on Barclay. And also there's 100 Barclay.
the work.
But you're talking about Park Place, right? And just last
But you live
weekend,
at Barclay over in Battery Park City, you live.
no,
No.
I live at 10 Barclay Street, not to be telling about my business. But also there's 100 Barclay, that's also right there.
Between which district?
Church and Broadway. There's a
But is
big
that where
residential.
you'll be working?
No,
Where we're going.
but my point of it is, and that's why I'm asking, are y'all tearing up the street is, I can hear that all the way, because just last weekend, somebody was tearing up something down there, and I heard it at 8 o'clock on Saturday morning. So while I appreciate y'all doing it off hours for y'all, I'm still woken up by that. So that's why I want to understand, are y'all taking up the street?
So the street is open now.
So you're not doing additional digging?
There will be minor jackhammering. What we're doing is east to west on Barclay Street. We're installing empty Con Edison ducts so we can transfer their primary electric lines into that. So we need to get the duct from manhole to manhole, and we can tell Con Ed, please move your lines, energize them. Because we don't want to do all this work and then be waiting for Con Ed's crews to come pull cable and all this.
What time are y'all starting?
I believe our permit is 8 a.m. to.
It's always 8 a.m.
It's,
So-
we have it for the whole weekend. I imagine we'll only work Saturday.
So you know how I'm sorry, Jimmy, just real quick. You know how we always ask everybody, every construction project, if it's at all possible to start the noisy work later?
Yes.
Not be the first thing that you do at 8 o'clock in the morning, even if it's 9 o'clock that you start the noisiest work. It gives people who live there the opportunity to wake up and have a cup of coffee.
No, absolutely. I agree with you. And we have a great contractor. We're very lucky because this is a complicated job. I will request they, wait as long as you can to do the lab work.
Right.
But if this job, that weekend work will substantially expedite us getting done in that area.
And then to double back on my question, because I'm trying to get questions answered, when can y'all give up the space that you've taken away on Barclay? Do you have a plan for that?
Do you mean, is there a certain section of Barclay or are you talking?
There's Barclay between, it's not Church, what's the next street after Church? Is that West Broadway?
Yeah.
So between West Broadway and Greenwich.
Between West Broadway and Greenwich.
Where Fetterman Hall is.
Ideally,
Is that the
but,
BMCC place?
Yeah.
We're trying to do that as we go. We need to tie in those ducts, but it's gonna be several months. There's a lot of work there. There's Con Ed coming from every direction, and the water main that we're bringing south on Greenwich Street goes into Greenwich and Barclay Street. It ties in there. That's a storage area. We have a permit for it. We can try to consolidate it as we work.
Please.
That's all Con Ed's and ducts stored there. When they go on the ground, maybe we can shave off.
Anything you can do to speed
It's
it
tight,
up would be
it's tight
appreciated.
spaces, but we can try to, we can do what we can.
And you'll be back.
So just to give everybody a heads understanding of the work involved, the electrical work is weather sensitive, so that work cannot be done. Con Edison will not do any of this work energizing the electrical conduits during the summer months, right? So we don't get if we don't get these things done before April, we have to wait until October until we could pull the first cable, and we need to pull 12. Right? Am I correct, Phil? I think we need to pull 12 feeders out of that intersection.
And the
Correct.
summer, because the usage is so high, they don't want anyone working around.
So
Yes.
that's where our problem is. We're trying to put come in and put these conduits in, so when the weather breaks, we could get a jump on them getting their crews to come in and pull the cable and energize and eliminate that interference out of the way of this project, so we could try to move this thing along. So a lot of you can see there's a lot of open excavation. There's a lot of work, but a lot of it is all driven by specialty crews, unfortunately, that we don't govern, and that's a kind of different specialty crews. So that's why we're just trying to do any additional work that could get our leg up on getting this work done. So that's why we're trying to expedite and do the weekend work.
All right, so in 2 months, you'll update us and hopefully we'll have good weather and you can speed it along. Jimmy wanted to ask them.
Correct. Even if we could do 50% of it, that only means we only need to do 50% of it, come next fall, right? So the more that we can eliminate and get done now, the better it is, and we can speed up the project.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Just gonna ask, do you feel that you're getting all the
We
cooperation?
can't hear you.
Do you feel that you're getting all the cooperations and needs that you need from Con Ed to move this along? It seems like.
No, we would like more crews from Con Ed, I mean, I understand Con Ed has emergency work and everything, and I'm not an expert in this, but, we would like to push Con Ed.
Yeah.
Because a lot of their work does drive this job.
Pat, is this something that?
Because I'm just asking if there's anything we can do to try to help you.
Anything you send me, I will be going.
No, but I mean, is there anything we can
30
do?
seconds.
Can we contact Con Ed? Is there
If you
someone?
reach out,
to
I
ask?
think if you reach out to us directly, and we pass it along,
You know,
Oh.
electricity is
They
highly
did use the
regulated
town,
by the state government, so.
Yeah, what happened?
So state representatives that come here and blah, 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 like, maybe they can help.
Right, but Con Ed did used to come years ago. What happened to them? They just blew us off.
I think they're definitely not short of money, because my electricity bill is very high.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, because Con Ed used to come a long time ago.
That was what I was gonna ask.
Because that was, because they have always been the fly in the ointment. They've always been the holdup.
I think this is something our state representative can help us.
Well, let's talk about that.
We do have a few Con Ed reps who, I communicate with, so if there's, and they are responsive, so if, you know, we decide, the board decides,
Maybe
you
you can
know,
rep
we want them to prioritize certain projects, we could definitely pass that along to them.
All right, so let's talk about that after. Maybe we can just write a letter. Maybe Tammy, maybe you can write a letter.
She had her hand raised. I don't know if she's still on. She might be gone.
I'm here. I'm not gone. I just needed to go off camera because I've got kids behind me who do not want to be on camera. Repeat.
No, we're saying that maybe the board can write a letter to Con Ed asking them, you know, to please help expedite this project, or their part of the project.
I think that would be a great idea. It's something I'd 100% support. I think we can do a resolution as well, simply because we have, I mean, it's a long project, no offense intended, but it's already 11 months behind because the difference between November and October is 11 months. I know you think it's 10, but.
You have to check my dates, yeah.
Yeah. So it's 11 months behind, and it's, you know, a major intersection with major thoroughfares. So I'd be completely happy if you did a resolution, and we'd be happy to cover a cover letter for it as well.
Yeah. Resume joining, every other month. Yeah, that's number one, is that, can somebody just take a note that we're gonna ask them to send a representative to come to our meetings every other month like they used to in the past? And for them to help expedite and work closer with DDC to get this project, all projects, any project they're involved in expedited, because they have always been the problem.
Yeah.
That makes
To be fair, they are working, but you know, we think they could do more.
And then we're not bashing
Yeah,
them,
yeah.
but they have been the problem.
Remember, when these guys are done, then BNY Mellon's gonna start.
Yeah, so it's gonna be a mess.
It's not even like, no, and, you know, I appreciate their level of communication and the work that, you know, they're doing. It's amazing. But unfortunately, as soon as they're done, the sidewalks around BNY Mellon will be completely chopped up all the way around their entire block.
All right, so Joe?
I was just going to say basically what Tammy said about the resolution, and that would take care of reaching out to the state electeds, because the resolution would go to the state electeds. But I think what we would need, if possible, and correct me if I'm wrong, is just bullet points of where Con Ed is needed, so that to make the reso, we'd have to put those in there. So is that something?
That's something that exists in
Should we-
many forms. You know, I
Okay.
can talk to Frankie and Peter, who's not here tonight on vacation. and,
Yeah.
You can get back to you. guys.
Just
Yeah,
give
you
us
just
those
bullet
bullet
point
points.
the hold up areas.
And then we can do it for next month. A reso, you
We
think,
can
or no?
theoretically write the reso now.
Oh, good,
We can
okay.
get
Right,
the
if we have
bullet
those
points.
bullets, we'll just
Right, if we
plug
can
them
get
right
the
in.
bullet points from you in the next couple of days, we can just plug
Yeah,
it
give me
in.
until next
But then
week,
we have
just
to
so I
vote on
can.
resolution?
I'm sorry,
And we have to vote on the resolution?
we do, but can we finish and then we'll,
Yeah.
we'll vote on that. Yeah, so if you could get, as soon as you could get bullet, it doesn't have to be, you know,
Yeah.
it just needs to be the bullet points for the areas that might, I'm gonna try
Hey,
to.
Pat,
Yeah.
when they were talking about redoing the curb alignment modifications, please confirm, there's curb cuts at every single one that we're rebuilding, correct?
Isn't that mandatory?
Like a pedestrian ramp?
Yeah.
When you, yeah.
Yes, there's a pedestrian ramp, we're even adding one, like, in front of World Trade Center 7, on Barclay Street, when we showed up, there was like a pedestrian ramp on the north side, but not the south, so we're putting one on the south.
Yeah, I thought it was mandatory for ADA.
Well, no, there'll be pedestrian ramps.
It's only
Well, no.
mandatory unless, Pat, there's some kind of infrastructure that prevents it. And my question, if there was infrastructure, was whether or not curb bump outs to accommodate it would have been possible. So, yeah, excited to hear that. Thank you.
Should be all good, ADA compliant.
Do we have any idea if the BY Mellon work is gonna entail Con Edison also?
Well, let's wait until they're coming next month.
Okay, so we could do it in pieces. Okay, that's fine. If it goes.
We're on a pretty high level of coordination with them, just
And, yeah.
because when we do our work, it's done. You know, you can come and drop your bollard, but can't move
Okay.
anything.
And when you finish your work, yeah, they just have to come in and they don't have to they're not repeating the work that you've done.
The bollards are low profile, so it's like a foundation that goes back and it's shallow.
So it shouldn't, I mean,
No, absolutely it should not.
okay, thank you. That was.
Is there anything else you want to tell us?
No, I mean, I have a couple pictures, but I think we covered everything.
All right, let's look at, I like
pictures, yeah.
Makes sense.
Didn't mean to go on for so long.
No, that's fine.
show here are old.
So we have those.
It's just basically, this is everything we covered. See, it says we're 25% complete. That's based off the money that's been paid out. We've done more work than that. We're just waiting on a large payment to come through. So the time elapsed is 75%. That's of course from our original contract date. And, can you see I can't see that from here, but you could probably see the bump out if you.
You can, yeah.
Yeah.
You can see it here, right by Park Place.
I see that.
And you can see it in the
Corners.
corner. So interesting, is this gonna be one corner of the bump out? Okay.
I think it's just cut off.
Yeah.
The big
Just
bump
like a real slide, yeah.
on the north, south,
Got it.
west.
Because you're missing the bump out on this corner over here.
Yeah, I'm sorry, no.
It'll all be on the west side of the street.
All the bump outs are going on the west side, but it does cut into the street a lot, which is good. It's the bump out.
Yeah, it's like a 20-foot bump out.
Okay.
And then if you go to the next slide, I just briefly pictures.
Well, also remember that they're pulling that's what BMI Mellon is doing, they're pulling the bollards.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have a question?
I do have a question. So you said that the percentage complete is based on payments. Is there a percentage complete that is more of like a public perception?
Yeah, I mean, it's like,
Complete?
if I went off of that and I added what needs to be paid out, it's probably 35 to 40 or something.
Percent done?
Yeah, and there's been so much added work that it's kind of hard to calculate it like that, but I would put it somewhere
Okay.
roughly in there. So this is Barclay and Grant Street. This is just, we get the question, what are you doing out there a lot? This is an idea of what we're doing. So on the left, they're building a Con Edison manhole for all of these feeder primaries that I keep talking about. We'll go through that. On the right, I took that yesterday. If you see the cement box in the back, that is the new manhole. And you can see the ducts on the bottom. They're kind of covered in dirt or going into it. So we're installing the empty ducts so Con Ed can come pull the new wire. And I said 2 more pictures.
What's the green cage?
The green cage is a rebar that they pour the concrete on. The structural integrity of the manhole.
Question.
Yes.
Do you think there'll be any like adverse impact to the people needing to get to Fitterman Hall for the presidential primary?
No, I don't think so. I mean, I can make sure, I'll put extra flaggers there that day to make sure people come through.
It's a week.
Yeah. For the voting and everything.
Yeah.
8 days.
We've had it before, we've had elections before and we haven't had any issues.
Now, this is presidential, so
Yeah,
it's a lot more
it's gonna be
people
very
than we hoped.
Yeah, this is a great thing to point out. I'll jot it down and
Speaking of flaggers,
we'll make it nice there.
One of the problems I've seen and witnessed is at Murray and Greenwich, because that intersection's been changing every other hour. Like, we need more active flaggers there. I literally had to stand down the road while like a disabled person was trying to cross and an older person tried to cross. And I barely knew where to stand, but also like, I'm just like bully that way. So I was like, stopping traffic. That's a problem. Also, when I see flaggers there, they're barely doing anything, honestly.
Yeah.
And I appreciate the work and the workers that are doing the work. Somebody else has pointed this out before. They are doing really good work, moving fast, but the flaggers, not so much. Also, maybe just have them be more active and even speak up, because again, that corner right there is a mess. And it is a very busy corner. I don't have to tell you, because of all the commuters. There's the Target right there, and then there's the Whole Food that we're trying to cross. Again, I just actively avoid that area now as much as I can. But like, there's people that live there and they need to use those things, so.
Absolutely, I agree with you. So I'll talk to Super tomorrow. I will say, anytime we move the crosswalk, they restripe it. They bring in new temporary pedestrian signals. They bring in new temporary traffic signals. They time everything. We'll ask the flaggers to be more active. I will say, I'm there a lot. And every flagger I know is working very hard on the project. You might see them on their phone. Should they be doing that? No. Is that all day? No. And I wouldn't.
Okay, well, I'm gonna come find you.
Okay, yeah. I just wouldn't differentiate between the people with the shovel and the people with the flagger, because they're all unions, very difficult.
That's fine. They need to be active so that I don't have to do their job and stand in the middle of the street and risk my life and my dog's life, honestly, to get cars to stop so that different people can cross the road.
Point taken. I mean, there are, we do our best. We put the temporary stop bars, we put the temporary sidewalk. Like I said, there's temporary pedestrian signals. We're doing everything we can. We can look at adding additional flaggers or making sure everyone's on top of it.
They'll find you.
I'm out there.
You can drive up so fast.
Final two things very quickly. Just the left is what we contend with. That's the water main needs to go through there. It's hard to see. That's roughly 7 different utility systems. And on the right, the black pack is our new water main, which is being installed. I mean, going south on Greenwich towards
The
Barclay.
diameter of that thing.
It's 20 inches. So it's a pretty big distribution water main.
What are these things?
That's an old Con Edison ducts.
And that's what's getting replaced.
Yeah, the Con Edison, and then the stuff in the PVC is probably, ECS. But that's just, the picture on the left to me is amazing that we're gonna find a way to shrink the street and get all of that back.
And, yeah, maneuver around all of that. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, so at this point, you're gonna get back to us with bullet points,
Yes.
and we're gonna write about something.
Yes.
All right, next.
We have Front Street.
Aye.
Good evening. Hi, my name is George Hanna. I'm the new RE on the project, so I've been here like 3-4 weeks now.
Well, welcome.
Yeah, welcome.
It's reconstruction of Front Street from John to Old Slip. Most of the underground work done, like water main totally done, sewer is done. There is a few more things to do with utilities, like there is a steam main, we need to do work on it for the next 2 weeks. It's basically utility work now, and after that, we will start roadway restoration work. So it's total reconstruction, new base, new pavement, curb and sidewalk all throughout the project. We're gonna do also signals and lighting. Basically, it's gonna be a new roadway.
Was it front or south where you were having to pump the water out, or both?
South Street.
That's South Street?
No,
Okay.
pump the sewer.
Yes.
That's
Okay.
done.
Okay.
It's done. It's all this work is done.
Was that the project where you had 2 manholes and you had to go in one and, yeah?
I think that's the South Street.
We have something
Yeah,
like
South Street.
So the project is 55% complete on money.
Okay.
We have a completion date June this year, but we're gonna need the extension of time to finish all the remaining
What
part.
do you think, 1 to 2 months or?
I would expect till the end of the year.
Oh, that much?
It's
From June until December?
restoration work, it's gonna take some time.
So you think like December 24?
I would, we're not so sure yet, but
Okay.
yeah, we're expecting.
I'm
some-
putting down December 24, and then you'll let us know when you find out for certain, okay? Alrighty.
So,
Mhm.
we are completing the work now on Maiden Lane. There is one catch basin we just installed today. And once Con Ed finish with their steam main work, we will start probably with the signal work and lighting on the project for the next probably month and a half.
Pictures?
Oh,
Question.
if you go to the next.
While you're on the slide, sorry, can you go back one? I saw Con Ed up here. Are you running, I'm guessing maybe not, into the same problem with Con Ed, or like how reliant are you on?
I think you have one slides with, instant delays, we can, yes. But this is, what if we go here, if you go to the next slide. Yes, we have them on every single project. Yeah.
Okay.
this work is done already. So there was some Con Ed work. It took a while, the way I understand, to finish that work there, but it's all done. You could see
Right.
the issue.
So to add on to what George said, a majority of the specialty work that was involved in this job that came up, it's all completed, right? So we only have minor, we're not waiting on Con Ed instance for any big ticket items. So we should be able to finish up restoration on schedule and try to finish up by the end of the year.
Okay, great.
So
What's the photograph with the bricks and the hammer?
this is a chute connection from the catch basin to the manhole, basically, street runoff.
So it runs down.
Yes, it goes into the soil, the combined soil. Okay, so if you go to the next slide, there is some more pictures. This work here is all done also. There was a brick sewer that the roof collapsed on one section of it.
How old was that?
This was like, I think, a couple months ago.
No, I mean, how old is the brick sewer?
Oh, 100 years. Yeah, but we fixed it. It was done like 2 weeks, last week. It's all done.
So a lot of this is digging it out by hand?
Oh yeah, all the work basically,
yeah.
because of all the utilities underground.
Yeah.
It's all handwork.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you could see the hole in the one on the left.
Yeah.
Okay, so we removed the damaged section there and we fixed it.
Someone have questions?
And all the water main is done. The job, we still have to do one hydrant replacement. That's the only thing left.
Does that mean there was a hydrant there before and you're putting back a new hydrant, or you're putting in?
This one we replace. There is
Replace.
one that we still need to replace.
So is any of this work in anticipation of what the other project that's gonna be on the resiliency?
I don't think it ties into the resiliency project because.
No, this is a standalone project that has it's totally separate from the resiliency. So this project is actually it's a Sandy project. This is to upgrade the infrastructure due to Sandy. You know, we're increasing the depth of the road base because I think I said this before. After Sandy, all along the corridor, they would park the big generator trucks, like the big tractor trailer trucks. So, you know, they wanted to increase the depth of the road base in case something like that happens again, so the road is able to withstand all the weight. You know, God forbid something happens. You know, I don't wish that to happen, but if something like that happens again, at least the road is going to be stable enough to hold all those generators, which is why this project came to be.
Did those trucks do a lot of damage?
Well, it's a big load, and that load was stationary for a long time after because there was no power. So they had all these big generator trucks powering all the buildings downtown. So the thinking was to increase the infrastructure to make sure that you know there would be no failure in the roadway, and everything would be protected underneath.
Gotcha.
Thank you. As you rebuilding all this, are you taking into account making the surface more porous or trying to figure out a way to capture the rainwater? So we look at, I mean, if there's room, there doesn't seem to be much, but to look at something to say if we've got big rain events. So forget Sandy, what about the atmospheric rivers and stuff like that? We've had a lot of substantial rainfall and not enough drainage.
So what we have here, we added catch basins on all the corners.
Okay.
So it should be able to handle taking the additional water and dump it into the combined sewer.
And did you increase the diameter of the pipes, right, that are running away?
I'm not sure if it's on
Well,
Front Street.
Well, there is the brick sewer there. It's a big size sewer. We not really replacing it. We just, you know, connecting the catch basin into manholes. It should handle the additional flow. But in some areas we added catch basins on the corner because there was a low spot and maybe there is no way for the water to make it.
Right, so it doesn't pool.
Yeah.
And when Sandy happened, it's not like the sewer flooded, there was not much rain, like all the rainfall came in a like short duration, so that's adding catch basin will hurt the problem. It's not like the sewer backed up and flooded and there was not much enough flow to take care of all the rainfall. It's like the inlets were not enough, so we added much more inlets for that area to capture all the extra rainfall.
Right. Do we have a problem with, I'm having a senior moment, give me a minute. Bricks on the street. Oh.
Cobblestone, thank you. Yeah.
Yes, we gonna be replacing or fixing areas where we did work with cobblestones. I don't expect this work to start probably for the next maybe month, a couple months.
Because you're new, so you don't know our issue with cobblestones.
Thank you.
I bet. I know, once we're ready for cobblestone, we'll let you guys know, so we could come do the mock-up.
George,
We will notify you, we'll give you guys, enough notice that you could come up and we could walk that and you could see our contractor do his work.
We gotta watch that warranty period.
Yeah, because we have to watch the warranty when it gets fixed, exactly.
Make sure no utilities come dig it and not restore it.
And that they're close enough together, and that the
Exactly.
level and the ground is right. Anything else?
Not really, unless you wanna see some more pictures also.
I would love to, but we need to move along.
Okay.
We like to see all these pictures, we like all the stuff. Any other questions? No? 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 Thank you, welcome.
Thank you.
So, who's next?
It's gonna be Bessie Street.
Bessie Street.
One more slide. And this is Bessie Street. Reconstruction of Bessie Street. We are doing reconstruction from Church Street to Broadway. Our work will include installation of catch basins, sewer cleanout manhole, water main upgrade. We are upgrading the water main from 12 inches to 20-inch water main. We also, this is a joint bid project. We have private utility work with Con Edison and ECS. We're gonna come to Con Edison because they delayed us on this project. We're gonna talk about, because we think we will still need more time than the original completion date because of the electrical default that we had. We're also gonna be doing street lights, traffic signals, 6-inch granite curb, and pigmented sidewalk. Also, we will be upgrading the pedestrian ramps on Church and Bessie Street.
So pedestrian ramps on Church and Bessie.
Yes.
So where the church is and where the souvenir store
Yes.
are? Okay.
So,
Sorry, pigmented sidewalk.
yes, they are like darker color. They match Downtown Alliance theme. It's not like the light gray, the one you see the rest of New York and Manhattan. It's gonna be like darker with 6-inch granite curb.
Is it any place else downtown?
It's mostly downtown.
So it's all, we have.
I feel like it's mostly, we call it pigmented sidewalk. It's different like what we install in Bronx or in like uptown
Because
Manhattan.
it reminds me of
like
what's in front of the Odeon, right? It was like big slab.
I don't know, I don't remember.
Okay.
But, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, picture?
4.
For the pigmented sidewalk?
We're not there yet.
Okay.
Still got that.
Something special for us.
Oh, it's special, like that's for South Street.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Okay, so last time I was here, I told you we had an electrical default from Con Edison. And unfortunately, it took them 4 months to clear that default. And for that duration, our contractor was not allowed to enter the trench because these cables, they carry 250 kilovolts and they can't fry anyone that passed next to them. Like for 40 feet from each side, no one was allowed. The electrical default was resolved, I would say 2 weeks ago. And since then, the contractor continued the mass excavation. If we can go to the next slide.
Can I, just real quickly, how long did it take them to correct it? Was it a month? I mean, no.
Okay.
Like, in other words, we had to wait 4 months for it to be corrected.
Right.
When they worked on it, how long did that work take?
So Con Edison have multiple protocols to address these electrical defaults.
Yeah.
First, most of the time, no one was on site work on the default. It's not having enough crews, like the
No, I
Rob.
understand that, but once
Yes.
they were there, how long did it take? In other words, we have to wait 4
So
months.
did they work the entire 4
No,
months
no,
or
no,
quite
no,
on the
no,
waiting
probably
time?
just waiting for specialty crew like
Yeah.
we had in other projects. That's
And
our
then once
problem.
they were there, was it fixed within a week?
Within, I would say, 3 weeks, they had multiple crews come, each crew
Yes,
would
it's
come.
not-
So
crew-
it's fast once they show up.
Yeah, we'll add some people, they had some crews, they go to the substation, send a signal just to make sure that these conduits are live or not. I mean, it's
So
not
it
in our
backs-
specialty, it's the, yeah, I know, but I'm trying to give.
I was just thinking in terms of the Reso, because it's a very good
Yeah, because it took them
example.
4 months to get there and they only had 3 weeks worth of work.
Right. Yeah,
It's
exactly.
very, very important because we can't have gas stoves anymore, right?
Yeah.
We want electrical cars, right? So Kang'an is a new Exxon, right?
Mm, right.
We cannot live without them, so we better get them, they gotta get ready to take care of us. We can't cut the artery off the city or anything, right?
My building
Cars-
converted.
They-
to
they-
truck.
they-
I had gas stove in it.
Summer.
Well, not a good. Definitely.
Every
bad.
Yeah.
They have provided. I didn't choose to convert, they chose to convert.
Like I when Frankie mentioned, in the summer, we cannot work.
Are you gonna do
like-
the squat?
And in winter, we cannot work on gas and steam because that's what the buildings use to heat the buildings and all the energy, gas and steam. We couldn't work on it during.
You caught me between a rock and a.
Exactly.
Yeah, right, exactly.
Crazy to wait 4 months for.
Going to the next slide.
What's this middle side? What was that?
Middle side, that's our trench, like the three.
No, I know, but what's that, what's the pipe?
The pipe gas and abandoned water main.
A gas meter or air purifier.
So it wasn't being used, so it was just left there?
Does it stay there?
And right now,
They just-
yes, we pick it up to make more room to put connecting stuff, ECS stuff, and our stuff in the trench. So once we finish excavation, we identify all the interferences with the city work, the water main work. Right now, Canadians are working on a gas bypass in order to cut and cap the gas main. Our contractor will go do work without affecting the buildings. So we will put the gas on a bypass on the site,
Right.
keep the service active for
It's like
everybody.
heart surgery.
Exactly. I was thinking about it today, actually, when I put it, it's like, it is like a heart surgery. You put it on bypass and put it back to the system without affecting any services. That's
Wait,
what
when
we
is
do.
that happening? Sorry.
So the gas, if we can go one slide back.
There?
Okay. No, I wanted to show the gas. So the gas was in direct interference with our water main work. So in order to remove the gas, to get access to our water main, we have to put the gas on a bypass on the side while we
So
go.
you've done it already?
It's in progress right now. Next slide, please. You can see the welders are welding the gas bypass. It's 4-inch gas bypass.
Love it.
Because as I've already mentioned, that's where I live.
Yes.
And we are on gas, so.
So just because I'm a geek, I wanted to know. So did you have, like, you lifted it up and put it to the side, like you rerouted
We
it?
cannot. So
can't
we have to cut the gas for 1 hour. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna prepare the gas bypass next to the trench. And then, gas crew will come, disconnect it from the main and put it on the bypass and connect the service to it.
How much of a heads up can y'all give us?
How much heads up?
Mhm.
Well, it's only 1 hour turning it on.
Yes.
Oh, I know, but it's.
And we have, exactly,
Yeah.
we have
Stay at the building.
one restaurant.
Right.
It's the deli,
The
the
deli,
pizzeria.
right.
We worked with them before. It's not the first time we did the bypass on Vessi. We did it first without affecting the deli.
The boxing gym, I don't know if they need it.
They do not need it.
Okay.
There's no gas service.
Who else is there?
So there's an abandoned building. It was a lawyer's office
Right,
back in the
the
day.
first building.
Yeah, it has a service there and also
CVS is on the.
so
corner.
CBS, no, they get it from Broadway.
The church?
The church, no, they get it from Broadway too. No, it's like we have, I would say, only 4 services on Vessi Street. Yes. The next picture.
So I'm sorry, so you turn it off for an hour, bypass it, do the work, then turn it off for another hour to reconnect it? So it's off for 2 hours?
Yes.
And you're working with them, so they know.
100%.
Because it's really the deli, they need it
Yes,
for facilities, yeah.
and we never had a complaint. We actually told them we're gonna disconnect it from this hour to this hour. Does that bother you?
And there's a juice
One
place
time
there.
we had to reschedule our work just to accommodate the deli.
Mhm.
It's all good. Like even with the water main, because we do our water main from 9 to 5 a.m. at night.
Right.
So we do not affect
That's
the
what I was gonna
deli
ask
and
you.
the restaurants. And on multiple occasions after we restore the water. We knock on the deli, they start prepping very early. We make sure they have water before we leave the site.
That's great. I love it.
And
Are you
also,
still
I
running
have-
into the unhoused problem?
Mhm.
Remember y'all were having to like call people to move the unhoused people there?
Oh, I didn't remember.
Yes, we did once, and I believe Laura with us on the phone, she reached out to Human Services and they took care of it. I mean, Laura, if you wanna give us your info on this?
Where were they? Around the church or on the other side
It's on the
street by
other
the
side.
deli?
Yeah. It's exactly where 14 Vesey Street, the homeless person used to take it as a shelter during winter.
By the garage?
Yes.
You guys hear me?
Yeah.
Hello?
Yes.
Oh, hi. This is Laura. Good evening, everyone. Yes, we did had a homeless person seeking shelter by 14 Vesey Street, but that problem has been resolved. DSS actually came out to site and NYPD along with Department of Sanitation, so they clean up the area. And we haven't encountered that issue ever since been like about 3 months or 4 months already.
Okay, great. Terrific. Thanks, Laura.
Sure, no problem.
So anything else?
We also removed an abandoned Con Edison manhole just to make more space for the Con Edison utilities. That work took place on Broadway. Then we restored the lane back. It was a bus lane. Then I believe earlier this week, we had to set up again in order to do more Con Edison work on their manhole. Like,
That piece of equipment, is that like a compacting?
yes,
dirt
jump,
compacting?
yeah, jumping jack.
We love all this stuff.
Next slide.
Looks pretty old.
Yes. The picture on the right is the Con Edison manhole that's on Broadway right now. We had to have access to it. But however, when Con Edison crews came to the site, they looked in the manhole is not in a good shape for anyone to enter. So right now, we exposed it for them. They took all the information
So
and
it's
they,
another manhole.
and they have to come up with a plan how they will enter. We're not sure how long that will take.
That's what I was gonna say. So how long is that gonna delay our
We
project?
still do not have a resolution how they will proceed with the manhole.
Don't forget to put that in part of the bulletin, a bulletin point for the manhole cover. All right.
I believe we have one more slide, which is the weekend work that's taking place on Church and Vesey Street. On the weekends, we had to lower Con Edison utility. They are very shallow. They were in the road base. We have to lower it down. Most of the work is completed. We run the conduits. They pulled the cables. Right now, we're waiting for Con Edison crews to come splice it from the two ends of the manhole, cut the old service and put the new service in service, remove the shallow utilities, backfill, and restore it. So we're still waiting for them. This should be backfilled, I would say, end of March. See.
If they show up.
We will make them show up. And that's the thing, Con Edison also is not like they choose not to show up.
No,
They have a
lot.
lot, and they are bleeding money-wise, because whenever they are delay a project, we keep a log. Our contractor would say, I have a claim against them, you are delaying my work that I came to do. You
But I'm
should.
sure for them, it's the
That's
cost
one
of
reason
doing
to be on
business
time
and they're
now.
just charging all of us more money, but yeah.
So that's where you should,
Yeah.
the resolution, go for it.
Right, because I think two things to point out, right? Just this is kind of like a little, one thing is that, perhaps a regulatory framework, the laws have to catch up. This is kind of as a special business, right? So maybe we don't have enough to regulate them so they can pull away with this. If there's some sort of statutory requirement that this crew had to be there, certain amount of people need to be employed as specialty crews.
Yeah, they need to
right?
hire more people.
Well, by law, you have to provide this within a certain time. This is critical, right? To us, I mean.
Right, so keep that in
Right,
mind
it's not-
when we're
yeah, right,
trying
and
to
the
figure
second
out
thing
this,
is,
so.
notice this, right? They keep discovering these manholes that are not usable. But what if there is an emergency that you do need to enter in there?
No, what about this?
So that means that they're not constantly checking these manholes.
We used to have explosions in the manhole covers.
Right, correct. So again.
We had some on Greenwich
This
Street.
is something that
like after service.
Yeah.
Maybe we need a new electricity company.
Yeah,
Maybe it's not that, we go to Alabama.
well, unless you're digging it up and you expose that the manhole is, are manholes inspected on a regular basis? Do you know that?
They should be.
Because
I don't want to talk on behalf of.
No,
my
because
business, but yeah, they should.
digging up manholes and you're finding that they're about to collapse.
Oh, yeah.
If you hadn't dug them up, nobody would know they're about to collapse. That's pretty dangerous.
One thing we needed to enter that manhole for our work, kind of didn't figure that.
Right.
It's
And other
structurally
than that, they just
defaulted,
leave.
yes.
Well, that's pretty scary. Yeah.
So someone, to again pivot away from that a little bit, someone want to point out, and just something else should take into consideration. So you're talking about weekend work here. Y'all talking about weekend work, a couple weeks ago. You're talking about nighttime work. Again, I would like for y'all to coordinate a little bit more so that like every one of my weekends, I am not awakened by a whole bunch of noise.
Yeah.
Because as of right now, and so I've been trying to be considerate about this because I'm like, I live in downtown New York City. We're in a construction heavy zone. So I'm like, during the week, okay. But then Saturday and Sunday, my nerves are bad from this happening. So I just wanted to point that out because we're kind of throwing out there like, oh, we got some weekend work done because that's when it was off traffic hours. Well, again, and excuse my language, but we're all paying a whole bunch of money to go. I was going to say something else. We're all paying a whole bunch of money to live down here. So I want a second of peace and quiet because the other thing that y'all don't know about is there's been overnight work happening, not related to y'all. So then I'm in just a 24-hour construction zone and I'm paying a shit ton of money to be in that, and I don't want to.
No, I hear you, and you're.
I was gonna say, welcome to the area.
You said you're around
It's
Barclay.
23 years.
That, Vincent had a
I'm right
project
there.
there. Us,
I-
we
we
have
can-
2 projects around it. I understand that, but like, we do not issue the permit as a PDC, as an agency. We receive it from DOT. Exactly, and for example, this weekend work, we went to DOT. Can you please give us weekdays permit? They said no. Exactly. They said Church Street is the only connector to the.
I mean, truthfully, we've had 22 years of traffic.
Yeah.
Construction.
We
Since
have.
9/11.
Since 9/11.
And then we had construction before.
But I
Resilient.
either don't have to live with it, I either don't have to live with it, or I don't need to be paying as much rent as I'm
Yeah,
paying,
right,
because
there you
you're
go.
in places, other places don't pay that as much as we're paying down here to then live in it.
In the noise factor. No, 100%.
I'm not an either or person, I'm like, I get what I want, so that's why I'm pointing it out, and I think I don't want us to take it lightly that we're just like, I live in New York now, so I have to deal with it.
No, but
Not for
we've
these
been
kind of
about it
prices.
for years, but there's not much you're not gonna get very far, because either they do it during the week, which they won't do it because of traffic, or we get it on the weekend.
Or sometimes, I mean, what y'all are already doing with delays, maybe that's an opportunity to spread that out a little bit. I get it, it's gonna happen, but I don't need to have it every weekend of every year, like.
You're having it every weekend, but it's a different spot, right?
Yeah.
It's
Yeah,
not
but they're
the
all
same
real
spot.
close together.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, you're
Right,
not
no,
the same.
it's, yeah, no, I agree,
So
but still, so that can be coordinated. Because we just saw presentations from this same DDC, all these people, y'all can coordinate to make it so that like, oh, snap, maybe I don't do it that weekend, it's not absolutely necessary. Tammy has her hands up.
Tammy?
So, this could be a really good opportune time for a resolution requesting the LMCCC back, which was a Lower Manhattan Construction Command Center, which organized all the DDC projects, all the private projects, so there was some quality of life for people, and coordinated. We now have a person in the mayor's office who's in charge of, we have a rat czar, we have a public space czar. How about we find a way to make a resolution, this is just a suggestion, to find in the city of Yes a way to qualify this so there is abundance of work being done, but with the ability for people to actually reside and work here at the same time.
We had a construction czar. What happened to our construction?
That's what we need is a construction zone.
Well, maybe this is the mayor who can give us our construction czar back. That's why I'm saying it.
All right, so that's Reso 2.
The old office is still in there.
Right.
That's a really good point.
And Robin was
Robin
Robin
Forrest.
was the coordinator. Yeah,
Robin Forrest was the
Yeah.
coordinator.
Over there. Anything else?
No, unless you have any comments, questions, thank you.
That's
And for North Street, we have Norbert with us on the
Where's our
right.
surprise?
That's on South Street.
No, South Street is,
We're saving the best for last.
All right. So where are we now? We going to which one?
Nassau, here we go.
Oh, it's another headache. Is Rosa online? No, no Rosa?
Yeah, he said somebody.
No, Rosa lives there.
I'm online.
Oh,
Yeah,
I'm
she's here.
here. You are Rosa?
Mm-hmm.
Yep, hello.
Yes, you did.
Okay, so this is your project.
Joy. Thank you.
I don't forget you, Rosa.
I know, and I love you for it. Thank you.
Looking for Norbert? I thought
Is Norbert on?
I thought it was what you moved him over at the beginning. Yeah. There he is.
yes.
Norbert?
Norbert, we can't hear you.
Maybe you're on mute. Norbert, if you can hear us, put your hand up so we can see you can hear us. No, did he listen? Is he there?
Let's skip to the next one.
Yeah, let's go to the next project. Maybe can someone?
Jonathan, do we have Jonathan?
You guys hear me now?
Yes.
Is that Norbert?
Yes.
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 Hi.
Hi, good evening. Sorry about that. This is Norbert Clues for the reconstruction of Nassau Street. Just to go over the scope of work, it's 3 blocks of full rotary restoration between Maiden Lane and Pine Street, upgrading new granite curbs, sidewalks, ADA ramps, catch basin, streetlights to Downtown Alliance streetlights. And then we're installing a new road base with 9-inch concrete and 3-inch asphalt. There's also a new bump out at the intersection of Cedar Street to improve pedestrian safety, as well as Con Ed and ECS private work. We're roughly a shade under 30% completion, and we're still on track for the original completion date of June of 2025. Next slide.
Complete June of 2025?
Yes.
Okay, before you go to the next thing, I just have a question, because of course, self-interest. I live on Cedar Street, as you know. Where's the bump out? And because Nassau's such a tiny street, why do we need a bump out? And is it gonna interfere with a very tiny street where we, have traffic?
So it's on the east side of Cedar. Right now, there's actually no pedestrian ramps there. So we're bumping it out. I don't know if you can see in this picture on the bottom.
It's Cedar it's Cedar and Nassau on the east side?
Yes, on the east side, yes. There's no pedestrian ramps currently.
So you're talking about in front of the stairs that lead up to the plaza?
Correct, yes.
So the bump outs, why do we need a bump out there?
So a lot of, like it was talked about before, a lot of, I know when we're not around, I believe FedEx and a lot of trucks were parked there. And this way you have a line of sight where the pedestrians can see beyond the parked cars for ongoing traffic. So it's just for safety improvement for pedestrians.
So we're taking out parking well, not that there's actually
There's no
legal parking
parking
there anyway, but we're making it impossible to park on the corners.
Well, at the intersection, there's no parking. At the intersection, usually there's no parking anyway, because it's where the crosswalks are.
It's like Cedar's like this.
But they're talking
and
about
it's
trucks.
The plaza,
Yes,
so
the
Cedar
plaza,
goes into the plaza.
Unloading, yeah.
So the bump outs are on the plaza side.
But right now, there are no ramps for pedestrian,
You mean no
lines.
curb cuts?
Nothing at all. So in order to do it, we have to bump out a little bit and do the cuts and the ramps.
I see. I see. So you can cross on Cedar to go to the plaza.
So for deliveries, then you'd be able to park, or the trucks or whatever would be able to pull over, park in between the bump outs, right?
Yes, of course.
There's only-
The rest of the curb line is not being changed. It's just the intersection where the crosswalks would be.
And right now, there's no crosswalk, okay.
Right now, there's no crosswalks, there's no pedestrian ramps, there's nothing on the east side. So This should vastly improve for ADA, for handicap, and as well as for pedestrian safety.
Rosa, are you there?
I have to, yes, I am here. Thank you very much. And I have to agree with everything that's being said. There is no crosswalk there. I know this because when I've had to navigate the whole thing with a stroller, it's always been problematic, and it is incredibly dangerous because we have a FedEx station that's located in our building on the ground floor. And so a lot of the trucks that are parked there are actually very large, package trucks that are hard to see and navigate around, and they're just like one after the other. And so the safety there is extremely compromised for pedestrians. And a lot of the families with younger kids just, being able to be seen past all of these large box trucks.
You're happy with the bump outs? The bump outs.
So I love the bump outs. I think they're an absolutely necessary safety addition to that intersection. And I welcome them completely. And just so you know, there is no parking there for regular cars. It really is for delivery use, and then the rest of it all gets used for placard parking. So it's not like there was any parking to be had to begin with.
Yes, I
For,
believe
like, regular people.
most of it is no parking or no standing anytime.
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Okay, great.
So there isn't actual any loss of, I guess, what you would call like normal human being parking. It's really just limiting, I guess, the FedEx parking that's available there, making it so that people can be visible while they're going through there. It is a very hazardous corner.
All right, so, anything else, Norbert, that we should know about this project?
Yeah, just to go over the work areas that we have. The first work area that we started was between Cedar and Liberty, and that's continued Con Ed electric restoration work. We already installed a catch basin there. Work area 2 is still ongoing on the east side of Nassau between Pine and Cedar, both Con Ed and ECS Verizon relocation work, as well as a catch basin which was installed already. We just started on work area 3, which is Pine Street between Nassau and Broadway for Con Ed relocation work to accommodate a new catch basin being installed on the northwest corner of Pine. Now we can go to some slides just to show some progress pictures. Okay, so this is installation of the clean out manhole on the northeast corner of Pine and Nassau Street. I can go next slide. This is the catch basin at that same corner being connected to that new clean out manhole. The clean out manhole replaced an existing brick one. So now it's a concrete new A1 manhole, replacing an old deteriorated brick manhole.
Which was also is probably 100 years old.
Right. This is a picture on the left. You can see the utilities that were wing backed or relocated west to accommodate that new catch basin being installed along the curb line. Everything had to be shifted over, and then it's restored encased in concrete. And then on the right, you have the corner that was temporarily restored with asphalt. Same corner of Pine Street and Nassau Street.
On that corner specifically, can we verify that that is going to not be a large flooding puddle? Because that's what it was previously for like the past decade.
So based on the road elevations, that whole intersection of Pine Street, the crown of the road is actually below the gutter line. So absolutely what you're saying is correct. The whole middle of the road was just a pond. So we're raising the curb lines on the west side 3 to 6 inches, and the east side's being raised a little bit, and redirecting the gutter and the rainwater to accommodate that after any kind of rain events. So that's taken in consideration with the design. Yes.
Excellent. Thank you so much. So you mean that when the curb cut or is there at the corner that you won't be stepping into an automatic puddle?
Correct. Yes.
Obviously, okay. Excellent. Thank you so much. We really appreciate that.
So we already have another catch basin by that column by 20 Pine, and now we just add another one. So we're going to redirect water away from both ped ramps towards each catch basin instead of what we had before, where it was just standing water at that corner.
Do the catch basins drain?
They go in, they're
And it's
connected directly to the sewer, combined sewer.
Oh, you wanted, it was ECF?
So do you see,
BBC?
that's the catch basin, that's the pipe, the sewer connection goes to the manhole, then that's the sewer system.
Got it, thank you.
Well,
What is ECS?
Empire City Subway, this communication line. that-
Empire City?
Subway.
Is that the old subway system?
No, no, that's where Verizon Spectrum. So ECS owns the infrastructure where Verizon and Spectrum run their lines.
So it's not subway,
It's
not,
not subway.
It's not the subway. They call the Empire City Subway.
But it's not the subway.
It's not a subway.
That's so bizarre.
is it misleading?
Because you know, in the old days, they used to have two
It's like
different
kind of
subway
sense,
systems.
It's
Yeah,
a,
we had
Or private- yes.
subways, yeah, three? We had three subway systems. Yeah, and they ran on different currents, right?
Everything was different.
Yeah.
They're on electrical generating infrastructure.
Right, so I thought that was what that was. So ECS is Empire
City
City
Subway.
City Subway.
and so and it's a utility for like cable for,
Yes.
for
Telecommunication. lines.
telecommunication utility.
That's bizarre.
I think
Well, that's
it's
You learned something.
Yeah.
a wholly owned subsidiary of Verizon, and their largest client is Verizon.
Okay.
Whatever.
Basically, anytime you see ECS, it's Verizon. You can think of the two as one and the same.
All right, you just learned something new, thank you.
And here we have another catch basin being installed on the southwest corner of Liberty and Nassau Street, along with its shoe connection as well. You can see the small catch basin that was just north of it, which was not a standard catch basin. It was a small little shallow inlet, which basically didn't collect any water. It just took whatever it did and moved it along and probably got backed up and flooded the area as well by Liberty. So now we have a full basin in place as well with connection to the sewer. Next slide.
Could I ask a super quick question
Mhm.
related to the combined sewer overflow? When you are putting in these new systems, are they getting enlarged?
Unfortunately, the sewers in Manhattan don't usually get enlarged. It's very to try to replace the sewer, which are 15, 16 feet deep, is quite a task, especially with all these utilities. But when they take in consideration adding these catch basins, they take into account the water and the catch basin flow that's being added to the sewer, and it should handle the additional flow. So even though they're not being enlarged, it's basically moving along, and that should not back up at all.
I guess I'm just wondering because we are densifying our population a lot down in this neighborhood and adding in both residential density as well as then having the cloudburst issues that we're having down here. I guess it's slightly concerning related to the combined sewer overflow and our capacity to be able to handle volume. Is that something that I guess we're considering in terms of these works as we're going through them in this
I think
neighborhood?
DEP usually considers, especially if once the residential count increases, then the sanitary is the bigger aspect than the rainwater. So, then like the project on South Street and the big interceptor sewers, they're working on that to try to increase the flow to the treatment plants and try to make sure that everything's moving along. But in terms of the projects we're just adding catch basins, all we're doing is adding a way for the rainwater to disappear from the street and try to get out from the street as quickly as possible without affecting the overall capacity of the sewer. The bigger issue with sanitary, that's a whole different issue for DEP, and that's something that they're working on along with the resiliency projects and other items in design. But that's not something that's part of our project.
We'll ask DEP, because I'd like a presentation on how they handle that. I'd like to know how that works. Thank you. Is there anything else on this project? Now we have to start moving along. It's 7:20. Anything else?
No, just this is just some electrical duct work. After we had to move them and relocate them for the catch basin, and we put in spares. And again, we're waiting on Con Ed as well to energize the new system. And this is just we just started on Pine Street in January, so there was a detour there for closure on and off. So we're waiting on crews there as well, like all the other jobs. And that's just a detour around Cedar Street to Broadway. That's all.
Okay,
Questions?
great. Thank you. Questions, anything? No? But it's another Con Ed.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's another bullet point comment, please. All right, thank you.
All right, thank you.
Any more projects?
One project, one upcoming, so one long, one short.
Oh, we have a new project?
No, it's Trinity, but it's still we did not start.
Oh, Trinity, I don't want to hear about it.
Okay, that was good.
Hello, my name is Bishoy Mediari for PS312MX for the South Street project rehabilitation of the interceptor sewer from Fulton to Dover Street. The project is basically the installation of PVC material. If you could remember the example I used last time, it's like 3D printing a large or trunk size sewer within an existing interceptor sewer to remediate they did a sewer inspection inside and they found some areas that do need to be rehabbed. So this is a new type of construction that presents trenchless technology, and it's something a lot of people are looking forward to. The sewer size that we're currently going to be working in is going to be 96 by 72. After they're all finished, they're going to, of course, reconstruct all the manholes that they're destructing in order for them to proceed with the installation of the PVC liner. Some updates from the last meeting. They had a pavement subcontractor come and adjust the markings in order to reflect the adjustment of the traffic direction. No lanes are taken away, just parking has been eliminated from South Street, on South Street from Beekman to Fulton. Just to give a point of direction, it's just think of the section right in front of the great Howard Hughes Tin Building. So that's where the parking is eliminated. And also since the last meeting, the contractor was approved for a night schedule, full roadway closure, that same section, just to begin installing that startup for the bypass that they've been installing from the manhole that's adjacent to the west curb across the street from the manhole they're going to be working in for the duration of the majority of the project.
You still promise us there's no noise? It's all underground.
Yes.
Okay.
And they have finished their noise section or excavation that they were working on in the duration of January 22nd to February 1st in order for them to install the bypass pipes right there between the two manholes. And they're currently, yes, they've removed they removed all they needed to remove with the noise that they were doing with the jackhammers, and they're I think the next time that you approach any other noise is when they remove the last manhole to do work there, and I don't imagine it'll take over a week, if not a day at that. So, yeah, and then there was a trench built for the bypass, and we'll just go over some
pictures.
yeah, the pictures. So this is the excavation phases. So sense of direction, if you're looking towards the tin building, that's the first photo. And then in the background, you can see the Yodox with the fences that the contractor is going to be working on for the duration of phase one. And that's phase one, I'll reiterate, is on South Street from Fulton to Beekman. Phase two is South Street from Beekman to Dover, those 2 blocks after he finishes phase one. And then picture 2 and 3 is pretty much the same box of the sewer that they want to bypass into. Again, the reason why they're bypassing is because there's a lot of flow in the interceptor sewer right now. So, you know, you're gonna have a crew down in the interceptor sewer installing this spiral liner. So you need to reduce the flow in that sewer, and they're doing so by offsetting that flow with 5 submersible pumps right before the manhole that they're gonna be going into to install into the adjacent combined sewer, which is across the street. So what they were doing, now this is the start of work, is they've excavated the top of the combined sewer that you can see where the 5 pipes that they're gonna pump out of the interceptor sewer are going to flow into the combined sewer that you see being excavated in pictures 2 and 3. And then the last photo you have there is the section where the 5 pipes were installed. If you could jump 2 slides.
That's the 5 pump.
Those are the 5 pipes they've installed. The white lines you see above on pictures 1 and 2 are bags of sand. And then picture 3, you see the sand being compacted as a support. Right below, they covered it with the plates that are currently there right now. But those 5 pipes are, again, they're basically offsetting the flow from the interceptor sewer to the combined sewer across the street. They have not yet been connected. That's what they're working on right now. Actually, there's a night shift that's going to start in another hour. Or it's school change yet.
Right.
And after they start connecting, they should be able to connect it within this upcoming week in order for them to start preparing that whole section between Beekman and Fulton. In order for them to clean it out and to start preparing for them to start installing the machine that's going to be installing their spiral liner. They should be proceeding with that work within the upcoming week or 2. But that's what they've been working on thus far after they've installed those 5 bypass pipes. And if you could go to the slide before, right, skip. You'll see, we'll call him Scuba Steve. This is basically, he's the same diver in all 3 photos. So this is a diver that was hired in order for him to install, he was hired. There's a crew of 3 divers that went down into the interceptor sewer, dropped the 5 submersible pumps, installed right before that inlet that he's going down in that 3rd picture, in order for them to install the appropriate fittings that's going to connect into one 20-inch pipe system that's going to come out into a fitting that connects into those 5 pipes. They're going to be technically 2. The 20-incher connects into 4 of the pipes, and then there's going to be an adjacent last pipe that connects into the last 5th one. That's just how the math works.
So how deep is that hole?
It's said to be 30 feet below the subsurface.
Wow.
Sewer diving.
Yeah.
Sewer, yeah.
What happened to the robots? They didn't the robot, I thought a robot was supposed to do all this stuff.
No,
Yeah, this is all in preparation for the robot.
Oh, the machine that will go and start doing.
Yeah,
Yes.
that's
Oh, okay.
yeah, that's the machine they're going to be installing.
I see, okay.
Yeah, it's not a it's, yeah, I don't. Yeah, kind of, I guess. You know, it's controlled,
It's like.
as a remote control, kind of, I guess.
Did the diver take any pictures while they was down in the hole? Did they
Uh,
have a camera on?
Anything down
They
there.
can't,
Yeah, black?
yeah.
So how do they know what they're doing?
So the only way they're able to communicate with us, I don't know if you could see it in this photo, but yeah, that last photo, you see the 2 other, you don't see the 2 divers, obviously, but you
Right.
see 2 wires going into the hole.
Right.
Those are the 2 other divers.
They're down there.
Yeah,
And so this one on the ladder is going down there now?
yeah.
Up on the nap.
Scuba Steve is on his way down to meet
Scuba Steve, I
Yeah.
love it.
for any Adam Sandler fans. You know. And those are the 2 other divers. They're attached to, of course, air supply, a light, and they're communicating with the crew above that's helping in the first photo. They have a speaker system that they speak to them directly with. Yeah.
That's a tough job.
And is
They have a-
sewer
so they have a
system
light
like,
on it.
okay, they do have a
Um,
light going into, or is that, it's cleaned out a little bit?
So the sewer that they're it's cleaner. It's it's an interceptor sewer. I
It's not
believe
sewage,
it's
it's not.
combined with the storm sewer.
Okay.
But the one they're going to bypass into, that's the sludge, yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Wait, that's sludge.
Yeah.
Oh, it's sludge. What do they look like when they come out of that hole?
Oh, well, they're
Smell like.
Yeah, it's.
Sludgy.
Oh, my goodness.
no,
That is this a surprise?
No, but they have a lot of experience doing this, like,
Oh,
they've,
What they specialize in doing?
yes, they've
Sludge.
done. they've
Sewer
done-
diving.
No, in any type
They
of
make a
circumstance,
lot
but
of
they have
money.
worked in another company that had an emergency contract where they had to repair it, and this is what they're accustomed to working with.
Wait, they're New York City. Do they get shipped all over the world?
They go all over.
Wow. That is
Wild.
It's not a job.
No.
That's good for them.
It's a job you never thought of.
Right?
Yeah,
Dirty jobs. Hey, guys,
That
we
was
got
your perfect
pictures.
job.
I just wanted to see if there was any left.
Are they sludgy?
Can they come here and talk to us? Yeah. I mean, I've got to hear what they have here.
Can't afford them.
I know, didn't you? We're having fun. It's sensitive. Sensitive.
Dirty job. I think that's it.
That way we're
This is
saying,
the
yes,
setup
yeah,
for the
TLC.
traffic.
Yeah.
The two-way traffic, they just, rearranged it in order for them to like just give them a little space on the shoulder. It's, they still have two-way traffic there. This is from Beekman to Peck. But the cones are just there to assist the subcontractor rearrange the traffic there.
And so when is completion date?
It should be still remaining as June, summer of 25. So still on schedule. Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, looking forward to it.
Wow. No, I'm looking forward to talking to divers.
So now the divers are actually finished with their section, and now the contractor is getting prepared to start their installation procedures, which they have to start with a mock rescue that's going to be performed this evening.
What's that mean? What's a mock rescue?
In circumstances where, because it's 30 feet below the subsurface, so they need to prepare for circumstances where their lift isn't working, for
So
example.
they can't get the people out.
Yeah.
You mean the workers out?
And
So
the-
when they're unspooling, you mean that kind, when they're down there?
Like they
Yeah.
can't reel them up?
Yes, so they're using an electronic a winch right now.
They only come up one at a time? How many people are gonna be in the hole?
So the crew would consist of anywhere between 3 and 5.
Oh, wow.
So of course, they're setting up, they've been setting up in their location where the contractor has his headquarters, and they showed us, I believe in the last meeting, we showed some pictures for the mock installation of that pipe. I haven't shared it here because I believe I showed it in the last meeting of the setup that they had.
Do we guys remember? Next time, bring it in.
Okay,
So it's kind of like coal mining. They're gonna be down there 30 feet.
yeah.
And what could possibly happen? Are we talking a possible collapse or water coming in? What's the story?
I don't imagine it'll reach that,
No, I mean, hopefully nothing will happen,
Yeah.
but what's the possibilities?
let's say the generator goes out. Yeah, there's like a light failure, generator goes out. They need to get up, and the winch that they have now, the electronic one, it works off of the generator. So they need to find a way to, if they need to be pulled out, because they do have walkie-talkies, use like a more mechanical means of pulling them out. For example,
When they're, okay, so two questions. When they're
Yes.
down there, do they have to have oxygen?
yes, yeah.
Okay, so each individual has an oxygen supply?
Yeah, and there's going to be a monitor that's monitored by.
Their body?
No, there's gonna be like a professional monitor that's set up in the.
Like a machine.
But to
Yeah.
monitor what, the air quality or?
Yes,
The
for the air quality.
And so now, if they had to get pulled up, again, are they gonna be pulled up all three at one time, or they have to wait?
Well, that's what we're gonna determine right now with their mock rescue.
Oh,
And
we can
and
watch
the
it.
fire
I
department.
know, I'd like to watch it.
The fire departments can also be there to assist with.
Which house?
It's going to be on the corner of Fulton and South. It's
No,
not,
which firehouse, or is it six?
whatever's most.
The one on Beekman too.
Yeah.
They're on Beekman
Yeah, they
City.
did mention they went to the Beekman one.
This is so, cool.
Yeah.
Wow. Are you photographed? Are you?
Yeah, I'm, I do my best to be there anywhere from 2 to 3 nights, and I do take as many photos as I can. Yeah. Yeah.
What time does the act, yeah, what time are they doing this?
They started ever since the noise, because their noise stip was anywhere, was between 7 and 10. So now that their noise stip is now, their permits allow them to work from up until, I believe, 6 a.m. in the morning. So now they work from 9 to 5:30.
Oh, they hadn't started. This is so cool. Wow. All right, any questions? No, we're done?
New project.
Thank you. Now, new project? Oh, no, we didn't do Trinity yet.
Yeah.
Yeah, piss on Trinity.
Trinity.
I
Here it is,
have
I do
to
see it.
follow after.
Did we
Because,
do French?
glamorous.
Yeah.
We did.
It's, the project we're finally starting, we're gonna start mobilization, it's a Trinity, I'm the RE for the Trinity Place project. The limits are from Cedar to Morris Street. The project involves, installing new catch basin, manhole to improve to minimize flooding conditions. And, along, during the work, we might run into some utilities, we deal with them under John B. contract, with Con Ed, this Verizon. Once we finish with the, catch basin sewer work, we're gonna start doing the new pigmented sidewalk and granite curb on both sides.
Now, I'm sorry to interrupt you.
Go ahead.
What issues are we gonna have with the school on Mars?
We will make sure there will be minimal impact. We have flaggers. We have enough in the budget to have 4 flaggers all the time for 4 years.
So what time are you starting to work in the morning, 8 o'clock?
Initially, we had from 9 to 3. Then the contractor applied to change the hours. Now it's 7 to 3, 7 to 3 weekdays. But he gave us their word that would be minimal construction activity between 7 to 9.
Okay, that's fine for the residents, but what about the school, the kids that are in school and they're there, from what, 9 until 8? Is it gonna interfere with their learning? Is there gonna be noise that's?
Fortunately, there will be some noise generating activities, but we try to work with the contractor and the school, make sure what those noise generating activity happen even during summer, because we'll be there for 4 years.
So,
Maybe less.
start date is. So you're still planning on starting next week, I guess, or?
Yeah, mobilization next week, and we're gonna start in March, first week of March, doing test pits, see where everything is, utilities underground.
So maybe
We need to have-
to come to start the noise later for the other.
No, that's what I was gonna say, that
Maybe this noise could be at like
Patricia needs to
when
be
the
involved.
kids are at lunch.
Yeah, Patricia needs to be involved, but maybe
Yeah.
the youth and education committee needs to hear about
Yeah,
what's
they
going
do.
on here. So we'll have to figure that
Yeah, we
out.
did meet with the school principal, PS1.
You met with the principal.
Yes, me and the CCL.
Yeah, Amelia's here. She can share more about her communication with the schools.
Hi, Pat. This is Amelia. And Amelia, good afternoon, everyone. So yeah, I did meet with the schools. We've met and spoken with them several times, which is PS 50. We also have the Lamont Preparatory School, because when we first start, the first spot they're gonna start on is on Morris and Trinity Place. So the 2 schools right in that area would be the Lamont School and PS 150. So they are aware of the work and the hours. They know that flaggers will be stationed where their crosswalks, where the students, the major traffic for students would be. So for now, it seems like everyone understands and is on board, and we've said to them, any issues, call me right away and we would address it. But we've met with them several times and spoken with them too.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
Okay, terrific. And so in the morning, you have flaggers, and when school is out, you'll have flaggers.
Yes,
When the
they will
kids
be
walk up.
stationed right where their school crosswalks are.
Okay.
And you're not gonna have, you'll finish work at 3 o'clock or 4 o'clock or something, or 5, because then there's after-school programs.
Right. That's what I was
The
told.
permitted hours are from 7 to 3, but normally they would start wrapping up by 2:30 to make sure by 3 they're not in anywhere,
Well, no,
in traffic. or-
I'm sorry.
do you want people to be having flaggers there when they're not doing the construction, but the street is a mess? That's what.
Well, we're concerned about the kids.
That's what I'm saying,
Yeah.
because the after-school program would be after school, but.
But if they're finished at 3, then the after-school program is after 3.
Yes.
Right,
so-
and they go, so they'll be gone.
The
Except.
construction's gone at 3.
The construction's finished at.
That was my question, so they're gone and that's it.
The way we have the MPT plans for storage and stuff, it's in a way that no kids can
Okay.
enter, no kids can cross. It's gonna be like regular stuff.
But you know,
Would be
Jill,
taken
no
in place.
kids, there's a way that they can figure out how to do what they shouldn't do, they will
We
do.
lock it with pedestrian fences. We do our part.
Yeah.
Some people jump.
Okay, but we just need eyes on.
Yes.
You know, because those little,
And,
beep, yeah.
Like, will there be any cameras on there? That would be a good thing, you know.
Somebody has to then be monitoring the cameras.
No, well,
It wouldn't
just
be real time, but.
to, not for immediate, but afterwards.
Yeah, I mean, we cannot require, supervisor to the contractor, he puts cameras where his storage area is.
Yeah,
Okay.
but this way you could at least track and see.
It's in a benefit.
You know, something
That would
happened.
be a deterrent,
something strange.
test you guys also.
It's in a
Yeah.
benefit,
Yeah.
I just want
And
to
then,
point
you know,
out,
you've got, I'm sorry.
I was just gonna point out, and Rosa, correct me if I'm wrong, but these are the same kids that literally just came to transportation to talk
Yes.
about the
Mhm.
intersections there. And how
Yes.
kind of problematic at this point.
Yeah.
So I think that's something to take into consideration, and I imagine the principal talked to you all about that as well. But I think it's just something to be really highly aware of, that like the kids literally did a traffic study and came to us and said like, this is what's wrong with this area, and so they talked to DOT, we connected them with DOT to try to fix it.
Right.
But I think that's to be aware of, and especially as you have your flaggers out there.
And then also we have the garage.
Right.
Yeah, it's huge, yeah.
So we've got, several things happening all at one time.
We have the scaffolding over the roadway.
Exactly. And yeah, the
Several
exits.
scaffolds, yeah, all along.
Yeah.
Okay.
So,
Have to put in there.
and just for context, the school actually does drop off between 8:05 and 8:15. And it does dismissal at 2:35 every day. And I do hope that you are able to work and figure out sort of try to, I know it's not totally possible, but consider, testing periods or days in sort of your noisy work planning. Because 4 years is an incredibly long time to be there.
If you can,
Yeah.
you work with the principal of the school, then you get the principal to, figure out when test times are happening and then work with EDC and DOT to try to, figure out so they're not having all this noisy work while the kids are being tested. Can you involve yourself? You
Yes.
should get involved in that.
Pat, I have
Yes,
all that
absolutely.
already. They've sent me their schedules, when they're having tests, when they're having events. We have all that. I
Great.
have all that information.
Oh,
I have the
Really on
hours.
it. Thank you.
Yeah, I've met the PTA president, everyone that wanted to get involved and know what's going on with us, we met with them. And they're all on
Great.
emails, and we've been in contact since the first week we got here, which was October of last year. So I have their schedules and I check that, and we have meetings. That's the first thing we bring up, the schools, impacts, whatever work we're doing, if the school is closing early or any kind of testing. I know they have certain weeks where these are like the more, I guess, more intense tests versus a regular weekly test. We bring it up and try to work something around that.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Excellent, thank you.
We did meet with Trinity Church representative as well. We went over the issues. We have their contact, we have their schedules.
Yeah, we're on pretty much.
I live on.
I know.
Yes.
I'll come out.
Yes, Pat, I know you do.
I just,
And if I'm sorry, go ahead. I just wanted to bring something else up about the bus stop, Omar.
before you go
Yeah.
to the bus stop, can I mention that Trinity does after-school programming?
Yes. Yeah, no, I have all that too, with Trinity Commons, and I know the kids go there after school.
Correct,
It's
almost
from the
every
public high
day.
school closer to
Yes.
Cedar. Yes,
Okay.
I know they walk across and their hours and all that. Yeah, we have all that.
Okay, great.
And also at Trinity, they do, well, Trinity Commons, they've got the open food pantry, certain days, and they've got, you know,
Yeah,
they do
senior
feeding, and they do, exactly.
Well, yeah, we're not, yeah, the sidewalks will be accessible. We're not touching sidewalks for now. Any excavations which would happen in front of that Trinity Commons would be in the roadway, but they would still, the sidewalks would be accessible. We would not be.
And people could cross the streets and get there.
Well, they need to go.
That would be open.
Corners, yeah.
All that's open.
Thank you.
Mhm.
Because I can't.
Okay, great, thank you. Okay, one more, what is it, the former American Stock Exchange?
Yeah.
Yes.
What's going on with their construction?
All right, it's good, they wrote it up. It happens we have a combined sewer we need to replace there in front of that building. Issue is, it's very close to the scaffolding. The building, there is a scaffolding that's been there for a while. There is no construction activity apparently for lack of funding.
Is that what's going on? They have no money.
Yes,
Ah,
yeah.
We could have told them that.
So, we tried very, many times to reach out.
I'm sorry.
Who doesn't have the money?
Well, we don't know. We'll have to find out. It's whoever the developer is
That's
for
my
that
question.
project.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's that guy, Ron Burkle.
Is he the British guy?
No, he's the supermarkets guy who flew child molesters to.
Oh, no.
What's his name?
We'll have to talk.
We try to reach out to them many times to see, we have work we need to do about the roadway. The scaffolding is too close to the trench, future trench, might be a problem, so, finally, I think they agreed to meet with us next week.
They are meeting with you next week.
Yeah, you know, to see how we can modify the scaffolding so we can proceed.
Is that a meeting with Professor?
And what were you gonna say about the
Meeting.
bus stops?
Is that a meeting that we could be invited to?
If you want to, short notice though, huh? Outside.
I mean, it would be Zach.
On the 27th.
Because I've been curious about why there hasn't been any work in that building.
Oh, yeah.
Because they're holding up, you know, I mean.
We're having our work.
Yeah.
We need to get it.
I'm jumping around, but the other thing is, because I know you're starting, and Amelia, I know you're starting down at Morris Street, but you've also, I'm sure, worked with the two high schools.
Yes,
Okay.
yes, yeah. I've met with
So
them,
they're-
spoken to them, yeah.
Okay, so they're all on
Actually,
board.
3 high
Can you follow up with the bus stop, Amelia? What do you want? to
Yeah,
say?
so I just wanted to briefly mention that when we start, within another week or two, the bus stop, we've met several times with New York City Transit. So the bus stop on the northeast corner of Trinity and Morris Street, they decided we're gonna close it. It'll be closed, for several, maybe a year or two until we finish the work. What they're asking, and again,
Wait, I'm sorry.
I
Is
will
it
be
the bus stop that's in front of the academy, the school?
It's,
That's, you know,
it's
what is it?
No.
closer to the bar. There's a bar there, the, oh God, 17
Blarney
Trinity Place, closer to that. I think it's 17 Trinity Place. So this Morris Street, and then if you walk up, I'm gonna say there's a Blue Switch, I think it's the name of the company on the first floor. It's directly there, next to the.
I'm
the,
sorry,
train
are
station.
we walking south or are we walking north?
You would be walking north.
Walking north from Morris.
Yeah,
Okay, so we're walking north from Morris on Trinity.
To the right side.
I'm sorry, you're
We're
walking
east
towards Cedar on Trinity.
Yeah.
So we're by the cemetery, walking,
Cemetery.
is the on train stop.
Yeah,
No,
just
no,
by,
no, on Morris, Street, way back by Morris.
Oh, I'm too far, okay, okay.
On Morris, not Trinity Church. No,
Right.
further south.
Okay, anyway, I'm sorry, go ahead.
On Trinity and Morris, that bus stop there, they're closing. And they're just asking customers would then have to go to the one on Rector. To grab, most of those, I think it's about 5 buses, most of them are Queens buses.
Oh, the express.
Oh, the express.
So,
The reason we,
Yes, but not
definitely agree, because if you have a bus stop there, when we do some sewer work, we only have like limited space or vehicular traffic. If you have a
Yeah,
bus,
bus stop.
everything will be like that.
Yeah, it makes sense.
Is it going to be the same bus or is it going to be a
Same
different
bus,
bus?
some buses, we are not changing the routes. It's just they have to stop either the stop before or the stop after. Not
So
from-
the bus are gonna go through there, but they're just not gonna stop.
They can't stop.
And the buses, yeah, they're gonna continue. There's just that one stop. They go like I don't know, about 100 feet, 150 feet, you have the next bus stop. You can grab it there.
But you're
Can I-
adding another 4 buses then to an existing bus stop on Rector Place.
No, it's the same 4 buses that stop at that
Oh,
stop.
it's not a bus stop.
It's a bus stop for the 4
Okay, 'cause
express
I thought the
buses.
Same buses, they can walk further up and grab them, yes.
Amelia, can I make a request?
Sure.
I think the issue that we have, for example, as I compare it back to Murray Street, is people are used to one intersection. So if there was a map that was put up that's not just verbiage, but a map that says, here are your 2 stops, that would be really helpful, because how long is the bus going to be relocated? 6 months, a year?
So, 4 years or
And we are gonna post signs. New York City Transit is doing their signs and DDC is doing their own signs too.
I'm telling you, the signs that I have seen up that are around Murray Street are not really all that helpful, and they're definitely not helpful to tourists.
Tammy, we can issue our advisories to include a map with the active bus stations, if that's helpful, being that this one will be closed.
It is, because what happens is none of the apps are updated. So all the apps show the original, and when you tourists who are in town and they're using technology, they have no way of knowing. Google Maps isn't updated. Nothing is actually updated online. So anything that you can do, and thank you, Marilyn, anything that has a map that shows from point A to point B is much better than just verbiage, because tourists don't know the names of all the streets and where they're going. And so I appreciate that.
Sure.
I mean, if you have, big red things and X's that say, graphics are always easier to understand.
Before, I think I saw, Amelia, we are working on a map. Am I correct, Amelia?
Yeah, we
What
were
we-
working on, getting the map on the advisory.
Yes, we'll work on that, Amanda. I think
Yeah.
there's a template that has one. We'll just work on it, plugging it in.
Okay.
Yeah, it should be on the phone. Nothing worse than standing there waiting.
Waiting.
And nothing shows up. And that's so frustrating.
Like going fast. Okay, so anything else? You got lots of years to come see us. 4-year project, hopefully not
It's gonna be
4
3.
years
It's
though.
gonna be 3 years.
It could be that, could be, because,
We hope it will be less. Yeah. All right, because, there's a lot of stuff that's gonna be going on, like, again, there's gonna be 5 World Trade starting. There's
the
gonna
only thing that might delay us is the scaffolding around that. Our project is like 40% of it is occupied by scaffolding.
Right. Oh, really?
Is there anything that the community board can help us to do with reach out to the building owners? Like especially even Bessie Street, we have the building has scaffolding on Bessie and Broadway, the northwest corner.
Well, our borough president said he had a plan to help get rid of scaffolding that's been up there forever, yeah. So I don't know, I would think you should reach out to the borough president's office.
And is it new scaffolding? No, that's scaffolding
Old
in there,
scaffolding.
old.
Yeah,
so that
I
makes
want
sense.
to have the borough president's office come and do the presentation on the scaffolding proposals, but I would reach out to the borough president.
That makes
What
sense.
do you think? Zach?
Wasn't there proposed legislation to, like, if they.
To get rid of scaffolding?
Yeah, if they didn't, the buildings either have to finish what they're
Right.
doing or.
Within 3 months, or they will pay a fine.
Right, yeah, what happened to that?
I probably set a record in getting down the scaffolding in front of my business. I got it done within 6 months. So, yeah, Martin Luther King
Wish
should
we had more
hire me
people
as a
like you.
consultant. The biggest hurdle is actually the government itself.
Yeah.
And, yeah.
And the
Very
permanent buildings
inefficiency,
allow
make
them
the
to
scaffolding do-
self-certify too. That's a big part of the problem.
All right, let's have another discussion, because we need another scaffold, we haven't had a scaffolding discussion in a long time, so we'll have to have one. That's it? No, new project.
That was the project.
About Trinity.
Upcoming.
Pat,
Oh, thank you all.
4 years.
Wait,
Tammy,
Tammy.
that's a surprise. Wait, Tammy.
you know what? Yeah, what I wanted to say before you go on is his ask to the community board is typical of what an LMCCC would have been able to do as well in helping contact all the local buildings. So that'd be something I'd add into that resolution if you're going to do one about supporting it, because the conversation tonight showed the overarching and real need that we have for that kind of help to help all the agencies, not just ourselves and the public, but also to help DDC.
Thank you.
Okay, good. You know how we love photographs, so more photographs. We really want to know about diamonds. Really.
Video maybe.
A video.
Inside the sewer.
Yeah, we want to know.
Before and after.
Yeah.
Meet the rescue team.
Right, exactly. I want to see them before they go in and after they come out.
Reality television.
It could be a reality television.
Maybe there's a way we can see them next time.
Yeah, probably
Yeah.
include them.
And good luck with the safety
So much, yeah.
plan tonight.
Okay.
Yeah, we hope everybody's safe.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Have a good night.
George will get used to us. George, you'll be used to us. By the time your project is done, you'll love us.
Or not.
Good night, Frank. Good night, Amelia.
Good night,
Night,
ladies. Good night, everyone.
Bye-bye.
Yeah, we're gonna talk about that.
Good night, everyone.
Well, we have this and then we should talk about the rest of it.
We should have resolution first, we're very fresh in our minds.
But we have, and then don't we have to vote on it?
I'm saying, I think we should vote first.
Whether we're gonna do the rest or not.
Oh, is that a resolution too?
Oh, yes, we should.
Oh, yeah, you really.
It's in our mind.
This one,
Nothing law.
and then the one that they're proposing around.
No.
On it, and the bullet points.
So yeah, this is another.
Right, the color kind of the bullet points, extremely specific on it.
This is, well, wait, wait, okay.
We can't
We
do
have a
it with
couple
that
of
little.
things. We want to get out of here by like another 25 minutes.
Okay, sweet.
So tell us Zach what this thing is. This.
DOHMH rule change to, no longer allow smoking of tobacco or e-cigarettes in outdoor dining areas.
Right, that's what that was. I thought you couldn't smoke.
I didn't think it could either.
Oh, you can.
I think it's right.
You can right now smoke outside.
No,
Not
in
on
a
the shed.
Sitting in a shed, you
I
can't
think
smoke.
you could smoke on the sidewalk practically.
I don't think that this is just a shed.
It's like
I think like if there's like
Sidewalks.
sidewalk tables or just like, you know, kind of like a.
Outdoor features, cafe or the shed, so sidewalk.
Yeah, like-
Get out of your seat and go step to the side in front of the restaurant and smoke.
Something like Greenwich
I
Tavern.
have a question, where is it legal? I'm not a smoker, I am for this is great, but where is it legal to smoke? You can't
New
smoke in
Jersey
parks.
used to be able
Yeah,
to
New
smoke
Jersey, right?
outside.
That's it. But you can't smoke in parks, you can't smoke.
You have to
Wait,
smoke
everybody read the first paragraph.
while walking.
It's why I quit.
The New York City Department of Health and Mental Hygiene is proposing to amend Chapter 10 of Title 24 of the Rules of the City of New York to no longer allow smoking of tobacco and electronic cigarettes in outdoor dining areas of restaurants, as well as remove provisions related to the discretionary waivers of state law on smoking. What the heck does that mean?
Thank you.
What does that mean?
That
Anybody
Park
understand
City,
that?
maybe.
Discretionary.
So this
No waiver on better.
They're removing the electronic as well, the vapes, because people vape everywhere.
But what is this, as well as removing provisions related to
Yeah, I don't know
discretionary
what that
waivers,
means.
state law on smoking? Anybody have any idea what that means?
Nope.
Tammy, are you on there? The department is also proposing to correct certain references to definitions that appear in various sections in this chapter. I have no idea.
Chapter.
Yeah,
no.
I didn't think you could sit at an outdoor cafe, even not a shed and smoke.
We need to know what we're voting on before we vote.
Hold on.
Okay, there's a hearing.
Weed smoking on here, marijuana.
Yeah, well, because
Cannabis.
different, one's state and one's, city, right?
No, but it says tobacco. It
Right,
says
right, it's only tobacco.
Electronic cigarettes.
Yeah,
So well, I agree with Mimi. Why doesn't it say weed smoking?
Well, electronic cigarettes would be part of it.
Oh, it does talk, okay.
No, not necessarily at, just ask and put it in a resolution.
In addition, the department amended chapter 10, on page 2, amended chapter 10 to align it with the New York State marijuana regulation and tax by adding the definition of cannabis.
Where you reading?
At the bottom paragraph of
The very last chapter.
Of the second page.
second page.
Chapter.
Definitions, okay, so they've got, so this is the law.
So I'm looking up this discretionary
Marijuana, no.
waiver of state law smoking.
Yeah.
It's part of the Clean Indoor Air Act.
Mm-hmm.
The guidance includes a review of the law's applicability to membership associations, a cigar bar definition, and criteria for use in reviewing. It still doesn't make it clear.
I still doesn't make it as clear as mud.
It's in one amendment.
It sounds like they're removing any waiver to the state laws. So if someone
Like,
is like, hey, I'm gonna
cigar
let people
bar.
smoke here, even though I know that I'm not supposed to, is it okay? And they said yes. Now they are gonna remove those waivers.
Any
is
kind of
what I'm
variances.
assuming this means.
Okay,
First
so-
paragraph.
Okay, wait. Okay,
It
let's
tells
go back to,
you.
what is the hearing? The hearing is
On the internet.
March 14th. The hearing will be conducted by video conference accessible. So we can go, we can
Previously
do it
permitted in
via
some
Zoom.
situations.
But so what are we proposing that we write, what are we proposing?
A resolution in support of this, I think,
Yeah,
right?
resolution in
And
support.
to
So
include
can we do
marijuana.
a
or
resolution?
cannabis.
Oh, I guess they're saying that this.
That's what I wanted to know. Can
This
we wait till after
includes
we
the
hear what?
I'd rather go to the hearing first.
I'd rather hear more information, if you got questions.
For people to share their opinion on the rule.
On the
on
rules
proposed
before.
resolution.
So that's what I'm saying.
Right, so I'd rather wait till after the hearing.
Why are we discussing it before we even hear? We don't even
Where
understand
you
all
would
this.
submit it into the.
Record.
into the hearing.
It would be part of the public hearing.
But what are we submitting? Do we understand what we're?
Yeah.
what-
We are submitting approval of something we haven't heard of.
It'd be in support of this, which would be
So I-
getting rid of
I
variances.
prefer not to do
What
it
is this?
first.
Yeah.
This is saying that you can't smoke outside, at restaurants, et cetera.
But there's some information that's missing.
I understand that.
But we have, because like there
I mean, if we want to make a blanket statement that we want to get rid of smoking and cannabis outside, where restaurants are, I totally agree with that. I don't know what you all feel, but I totally agree. I think it's disgusting. And I'm a former smoker. But,
But they're referring to things that are not in these 3 sheets of paper. That's my.
It's premature.
What do you
It's
think they're
premature
referring
to.
They're talking about documents contained in the chapter, and definitions contained in the chapter, in sections of the chapter. We don't have the chapter. We got 3 pieces of paper. So I personally don't feel comfortable. I'm not a smoker either, but I don't feel comfortable doing it if I don't know
Well,
what it's about.
Does anyone feel comfortable just writing something, like I said, something as short and simple as we agree with removing the
Just not gonna make a point of something. I think it's premature. They don't even have their hearings. Nobody really understands what this is about. I don't understand how we can comment on it
But what
without.
do you think, Zach? What do you think?
Zach, you're saying they're not gonna present anything, they're just gonna let us talk? Community.
Yeah.
No, they're gonna say that we support it. They're gonna use that as part of their testimony that, well, at least the community board 1 people support it.
That wasn't my question.
Hearing is where they hear from the public or interested parties on this proposal.
What they're proposing.
They're not going to present anything.
Just.
No, they're assuming that we understand what they're proposing, and we don't.
Well, it's
So how can we comment? Among the supporters.
The stuff that's new is underlined, and the
So
stuff
that's what
that's
I'm saying.
being removed has brackets around it. So there's existing whatnot, and then there's stuff that's being added, which is underlined, and then there's stuff that is being removed. Like, for example, N, section 1N, so it has brackets around it, that's being removed. I'm on page 3, section N.
Subsection
Yeah.
N?
So it's like
The only thing we
it's a
removed.
diff.
Oh.
Definition of
with
overhead,
colors.
is what you're looking at?
I would understand
Yeah.
it better.
And going back to the other state,
I know.
the discretionary waivers, like a lot of that includes like financial hardship that may be caused by that on the facility.
I don't understand what financial hardship would be caused by your customers not being able to smoke in.
Unless
Unless
it's specifically a cigar bar or somewhere.
That's included in here.
But there's-
Everybody else? Now, it is a cigar bar, why can't you smoke inside?
It says smoking shall be prohibited in a business, in a tobacco business, except that smoking shall be permitted on no more than 2 floors of a building occupied by such tobacco business.
Is this new? This is not new.
Not new.
Okay, but the
This
thing
one
that,
down
the thing
here.
that I don't understand is that
Yeah,
if other
if
people
such
live
tobacco
and or work
As a
on the
right.
next
This
floor,
is
they
not
don't
gonna-
have to smoke in that building.
So it's making
They
it
probably
more
have-
strict.
Make
You gotta think of like a cigar store, right? If you think Brookfield has a cigar store in it, or a location that there's a couple cigar bars in the city, places like that. I think those are one thing. Everything else is a little different when you're looking at open dining.
As well as remove.
Well, but you're not in a cigar bar, are you?
No, but I also wonder if there's like a case where, and I have not been to this place here, but there's like a bar that also maybe serves food, and then they had outdoor space to where you go, because, you know, many people like to smoke and drink. So that might be a hardship that they
Yeah,
incur.
because
I don't care
when,
about it.
when the indoor law, I care about when they had that, they, why, they not just their.
But I thought that okay, my understanding is that because of the way it's
Here.
you cannot smoke anywhere in a restaurant, whether it's outside or inside.
Yeah, they're even saying that the law prohibits it, they're trying to bring it into,
They're making.
no, they're trying to.
So does that need to be
It
specific to
says-
like hookah lounges too?
Make sure there's no brackets around it.
Yeah.
I don't know, I think this is silly that they're not giving an information session before they
Yeah,
ask people.
I wish I
Or
could
at
hear
least
it
the whole information packet, like this is not enough.
Yeah, right.
Well, I think
This isn't
partially maybe what would help is, like, I guess, Zach, if you send this around, so then, because I think there are links here that gives
Because
more
they remove
information that we can like click on and link to. I think that could help.
March 14th, a couple of weeks from now. 14, whatever.
So like we wouldn't have a chance to. Basically.
Yeah, if you look on top of four,
Still work remotely.
so this is the language to either side.
I mean, what are we voting?
That's why.
Okay, committee, what do you want to do?
Sounds like most people don't want to vote on it.
I'm just marking out the
I
bracket
feel like it would
parts.
be helpful if somebody was here to answer some of the questions that were unclear. Like, does this mean absolutely no smoking of any kind of any herb or leaf
Well, Justine
whatsoever?
found the cannabis section.
Well, but it just defines cannabis. So it just says that it matches with what,
You haven't heard any more information about it.
no, cannabis doesn't
And
say.
cannabis is absent from the first page, so are you defining it so that we know that it's not included?
Yeah, I don't know the
Or
answer to the
was that a
question.
mistake? I mean, you know.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. I don't know if it's included or not.
Okay, I just want in 5 minutes, everybody to come in.
Okay, but one second, then let's finish reading the back part.
Just crossing out all the.
What I'm trying
That they're saying
to
that
hear
they-
is this,
that-
this statement
What
of
page you
basis.
want?
Look,
What page you want?
okay, I'm on page 2. In the middle of the page, you'll see the purpose of the proposed rule.
Where, what's what paragraph are you?
Okay,
No,
so
under the.
graph, right, page
Right,
It's a
okay,
subhead.
yeah,
Okay, statement of basis and purpose.
The
of proposed-
So there-
Oh, and under that.
And they're doing the rule. If you can follow this.
Amendments to chapter 10 of article 24 of the rules of the city of New York regarding smoking and outdoor dining setups.
Which
Local law 121, the local law, we don't even know what that is. It became law on August 16th. Among amendments to various provisions of the city's outdoor dining laws, the local law amends administrative code. I hate when they go through all this.
Yeah.
Just tell us what it is. Part of the Smoke-Free Air Act to prohibit smoking of tobacco products and use of electronic cigarettes in outdoor dining areas of restaurants previously was permitted in certain situations.
Pause for one
Okay, so that's
second.
the thing.
Pause for one second, just.
There's certain situations, because we don't know what they are.
What this is saying to me is that there was a law enacted in August 16th, 23, that prohibited smoking in outdoor areas.
Right, except
Which
for
is what we
previously
think.
permitted areas.
now, when you read the second sentence, this is gonna tell you the purpose of
To
this
bring chapter
amendment.
10 in line with this amendment, the department proposes to amend its rules by deleting section 1010, which allows smoking in outdoor dining areas of restaurants, and the definition of overhang in section 1010, which is no longer necessary. Okay, we get it. So that means that they had a rule.
Yeah.
The rule said you can't smoke outside,
Right.
except in some certain permitted areas. Now they want to ban smoking in any area at all, including overhangs. Which means that when people go outside when it's raining.
Right.
And they stand under an overhang.
Right.
Or they're standing in front of a movie theater, with an overhang, that you can't smoke there either.
That's right.
That's what
Okay.
I'm-
Like proximity
Yeah,
as
don't
well.
start with details. We
Yeah.
don't take no details.
It doesn't have to.
And what they're saying.
Right.
Now, they're talking
Ain't
to,
no details here.
right,
Yeah.
so they're talking about restaurants.
Right.
So,
And overhangs,
but are they talking,
and outdoor areas that previously you could smoke in.
and buildings?
Well,
So,
buildings with overhangs,
so all of a sudden, this goes from outdoor dining
right,
to overhangs
Right.
and buildings.
and
and
previous
so-
outdoor
and-
areas, yeah.
So it's so poorly written.
Yeah.
It's so hard to understand.
Wait, Mimi's
In
gonna jump
effect,
in.
they're saying the law that was passed it's not in line with the law.
Well, the law that's passed, they want to amend, is what it says.
Yeah.
Okay, so hold on here, guys. We have 3 or 4 of these that are coming due to the new open dining rules. So LPC just released one about the new rules and regs for how they review or don't. Now sidewalk cafes and roadbed. Every single thing that's related around there will get a rule change, which we should be commenting on, because otherwise it just gets changed. And it doesn't come, there is no presentation on rule changes.
Can we comment on it later is the question.
I guess.
After we get some more clarification.
So,
No, unfortunately, because you only have for a rule change a limited amount of time. It's under 30 days, I think. So if we don't do it now, we will miss it by the time the end of March.
Amy, what were you gonna say?
Oh, I just crossed out the parts that have been removed, if that makes it easier to read for anybody.
You crossed out the parts that are being removed.
Yeah, with
You
red,
don't-
with the red.
Summarize it. What do
Yeah,
you-
okay, so the first one says that it's removing overhangs, since you can't smoke anyway. And then the other part that's being removed, and they're changing the numbers of the whatevers. I don't know, the things with the weird symbols. And then, the next part that they're removing is and only if such bag of business has applied for, been issued a waiver. They don't allow waivers anymore, so they just got rid of that part.
So the waivers would have
And
been.
is nobody grandfathered in?
Nobody's grandfathered in?
There's no more waivers. That's what it says on the first sentence, is that
Yeah.
there's no more waivers.
No, wait. No more waivers, meaning no new waivers, or the old waivers are being taken away?
Old waivers are gone.
Any
Yeah.
related to the discretionary.
Yeah.
It says smoking shall be prohibited.
Okay, let Mimi continue.
All right. And then the next part is that it removes any kind of waiver thing again. So like 2 days in calendar year, unless such facility has applied for such a waiver, like none of that matters because you just can't smoke there anyway. So anything that made it sound like you could smoke somewhere that you're not allowed to smoke anymore.
We're trying to remove some loopholes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, what's that trying to remove?
Loopholes.
Loopholes.
I have a question. Is this basically the Department of Health saying we have to change the rules so that our rules follow the law? And that's all it is?
Good question.
It's an amendment.
That's all it is.
Something is.
So I think it's a giant nothing burger, if that's what it is.
Jill,
They're just saying, yes.
yes and no. They have to change the rules to follow the laws, but what you have to do is be smart enough or detailed enough to look and see if there's any holes
Right.
or anything that's missing, much like the cannabis is missing, which I think is really valid. And I'm sorry, I stepped on her hands up.
Oh, Rosa, I didn't know you were still there. Hey, Rosa.
And I would say, I don't see anything.
Super quick question. I was wondering if parks and public plazas are anywhere in there, because I notice a lot of smoking going on sometimes, and it's public space, and
Walking and bike riding.
it's not good for you.
It is illegal.
Yeah, it's already.
And so I'm wondering, So it is already illegal to smoke in public parks and plazas?
Yeah.
Or is it just in parks?
There's a sign everywhere, but.
It says no smoking in
It's
public
just a matter of enforcement, but you
Right.
cannot smoke in
Okay,
parks and you cannot-
Okay, but I guess what I'm asking is the legal differentiation between park space and plaza space, and I'm asking specifically because Gotham Park is considered a DOT property, and therefore anywhere that's DOT is considered a plaza and not a park, legally speaking. So for instance, Bogardus Plaza is a plaza and not a park. Does that mean you could smoke in Bogardus, but you can't smoke
No,
in?
there's no smoking signs there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
my-
No,
Okay,
no
so-
smoking signs. Seriously.
Could we,
Yeah.
so could we just put that in just to be really clear that that's what we would like?
Yeah, no, but
While
I
you're
don't
marking
think
that all up?
It's not
because
relevant
you're not
because it-
supposed to smoke there
Yeah,
anyway.
exactly. It's
That's-
already illegal.
That's already
Yeah.
illegal, yeah.
It's, comments are due March 14th, by the way.
Yeah,
Yeah, but we.
Which won't be our next meeting. We don't have
Right.
time.
yeah.
We'll be
But
meeting.
it's now or never.
So, all right, again, I need to know what everybody wants to do.
No, I think we should come in and be supportive of it. I think that we can make a comment and say it's very confusing.
Simple resolution that says we are in support of no smoking in the previously, unrestricted areas.
Question.
Mm-hmm.
Then if we're gonna go to what Tammy just said,
Which is,
which is we have to go through this to see if they're adding anything into it. Is that correct, Tammy?
Well,
See if they're sneaking something into this?
No,
I-
what
I
you're saying
don't
is
know
this
if they're
is-
sneaking as much as I would say making sure that there's everything in there that we would want, like smoking, no smoking includes any products, period. I mean, quite frankly, I don't, no smoking of any products. It doesn't need to be limited to tobacco. It should include any products, period.
If that's cannabis, hookah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but there may be another article that addresses that. This is just bringing, as far as I can understand.
I honestly think that they are probably sending out these adjustments because they have the adjustments to the outdoor dining laws coming out and they're trying to align them. I think that's the point of it. I think we just don't have enough clarity in this single document to confirm all of those facts.
Which is fine. You say it. Just say
Yeah.
it. If it's not there, just say it. That's the point of public comment.
So again, if we want to just say, basically, we have an agreement with,
yeah, I mean, are we okay? So I'm gonna say this, what it says here, okay, let's go through it like kind of piece by piece, because this is the law here. This is the actual change. Starting on page 3, it said subdivision, whatever the heck we're trying to
No, but
decide
it's,
upon.
that's
Rules,
a,
rules.
because it's
Right,
like
the
the
rules.
rule.
The only thing we're voting on is the rules, and that's what they're talking about. So it says that smoking shall be except as otherwise provided in the act, whatever that means.
Wait, where are you reading?
Part 3, section 2, subdivisions A and
the
B.
bottom.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Except as otherwise specifically prohibited in the act, the rules and other applicable law, smoking shall be prohibited in all indoor areas of all public places, and places of employment, and certain outdoor areas in accordance with, and that the changes are, they give a new number, and other applicable laws, blah, 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 all enclosed areas regulated by the state law, the act and these rules, including areas that have any full or partial overhead ceiling, roof, or other covering.
would you bracket to all of that, Richard? Bracket all of that so Zach can see it, because that's all we're gonna agree with.
I mean, we'd like that, right?
In the tobacco
This is
business.
what-
Okay, hold on.
They're not they're not changing. I'm telling you what this says, and what they're changing appears to be very simple. Okay? So what Mimi's point was, the only thing that they're changing is the numbers, right? You're going from 17-503A instead of 17-503. So they're adding A into it. So some of this is just numbers, which means nothing to us, right? But we agree that, how about we could just say, we agree that we don't want smoking. We agree that, we don't want electronic cigarettes. We agreed that, okay, except otherwise as specifically provided in the act. Using electronic cigarettes shall be prohibited in all indoor areas, blah, 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 okay? Smoking shall, and then on B, Smoking shall be prohibited in the tobacco business, except that smoking shall be permitted on no more than 2 floors of a building occupied by such tobacco business and only within areas of the floor where it's designated for the purpose of testing or development of tobacco or tobacco products, period. The rest of it was, the waiver was removed.
I'm sorry, hold on 1 second, hold on, tobacco business, and there's some part of their business where they're smoking.
They're letting you.
They're writing it.
They're
to
saying
me,
this is what it
That
says.
there are some businesses existing where there's tobacco business where there's smoking, maybe it is overlap, I don't know what they mean by that.
I don't know what
But
they
I
mean.
don't want to be the person to say no more of this, if that's going to
That
close down somebody's business, and I don't.
Because that's what it says already. We're not changing that.
Yeah,
If they're taking out of what we can opine on is what if I understand this correctly, what we can opine on is the fact of taking out what's in the brackets that comes next, which says you can, smoking is prohibited in the tobacco business and only if such tobacco business has applied for and been issued a waiver of the state law prohibition on smoking in such premises.
But then something else said, get rid of waivers, and we're supporting getting rid of waivers.
This right here just says get rid of waivers.
That's the part that's getting removed.
Yeah.
Any mention of waivers ever
out.
having
And
existed
variations.
is being removed
They're
from
taking away waivers.
What we have
chapter.
said.
So that's what Miriam was saying, they're taking away waivers.
So you're saying no smoking in a tobacco business unless you have a waiver, which we're taking away,
No.
so you're not gonna have a waiver.
No smoking in
Exactly.
tobacco
That's what it is,
businesses,
practice around it.
only if you do it on 2
Wait,
floors of the
Okay, hold on,
tobacco
hold on,
business.
hold on.
That's what it
Zach's
says,
gonna
you're
tell- Zach's
allowed
gonna
to smoke in
chime
the
in.
tobacco business.
Everybody, shh, go ahead.
Yeah, it's prohibited. Except. And then there's the and, but it's taking away the
Taking
and.
away the and.
Yeah, it's,
So what's the end?
The and is the waiver. So there's no waiver, but keep going, because they then talk about it under, page 4, they talk more about it under the I. And no such facility. Well, now they're going beyond just tobacco businesses. Now they're talking about restaurants, bars, cabaret, catering hall, motel, conference room, blah, blah, blah. Except where no such facility shall be authorized to permit smoking pursuant to this section on more than 5 days in any calendar year.
Oh, God.
So what I was just gonna say is, in the beginning, it says, except as otherwise specifically provided in the act.
Yes.
So we don't have
We don't
the
have
act.
the act.
The act. So the act may have provisions for cigar bars, hookah lounges, right? And then it says, in these rules, other applicable laws, smoking shall be prohibited. So unless you fall within what's permissible in the act, there's nothing.
And we don't have the act.
And we don't have the act.
So we don't, we don't.
So again, what do you want to do?
Well, we should opine on it.
Another option, if you want, is I can reach out to DOHMH and say, we would like further clarity on the rule change that you're proposing. Can you give it to us? And then from there, you can decide whether you want to propose a resolution.
Okay, but that,
Have to be.
okay, 2 things. We want further clarity, but we also want to know if there's another opportunity to, because it's March 12th or 14th, whatever it is, so we're not going to meet before that.
But do we
According
agree
to
that
Tammy,
this
no.
is not, it's not shutting down smoking inside for any place that specifically allows that kind of entertainment?
I don't, I'm not clear on that.
You're not clear on that?
It allows it for 5 days in a calendar year,
But
and it
it's-
allows it, it says it allows it in a tobacco business.
Wait,
on
let's
2
talk
floors.
about what Zach is proposing. Tammy, are you still there? Is Tammy still there?
Yes.
Tammy?
Thumbs up.
Oh,
it's here.
She's there. Her hand up, finger up. All right, what are you thinking?
She's on mute.
She knows that.
Oh, I know. I'm listening. You guys got to decide what you want to do.
What do you?
Tell us what they're.
This is why I have fantastic chairs and great people on the board. I don't need to tell you what to do. You need to decide. You either pass a resolution and do some saying, hey, this is what we think you should submit, or you just say, you know what, here's the information that we gathered at the committee, and give it to Zach, and we'll put it all together in a document and send it. It's not a big deal to us. It's public comment. It's not like a resolution demanding action necessarily.
Yeah, I mean, I don't see where we can write a resolution for any action. I just think we can say that based on what.
Make a list of comments, give them to Zach, and we'll include it in our public comments.
And in the meantime, I do think that we need to say to them, this was insufficient information, and they
So,
really
yeah,
should
I mean,
have sent out.
Is it new
How about this
material
as
is
a sentence?
underlined and deleted?
I'm sorry.
How about this as a sentence, is that, we are, in a high level or in general, we are supportive of limiting the legality of smoking in public places and more public places, so we could agree with this. However, we're not clear as what this means. We don't understand what the effect is in a tobacco shop. We don't understand if there's any reference to
Cigar bar.
cannabis
Hookah,
or hookah. So therefore,
Right.
we don't know, we can't opine on that,
Right.
and we want more information.
Well,
in
would you
general.
want it to extend over all of it? So if you wanted to extend, just say, we wanted to extend and to be inclusive.
What do you extend over all of it? I don't know.
We wanted to extend over cannabis, over hookah bars, over.
No,
No, we don't. Not
We
hookah
don't.
I personally would say we support what you said in the beginning.
Yeah.
Right, but we do not support adverse impact upon businesses
I
that
like that,
rely
yeah.
on smoking.
That rely, yes, there you go.
I'm just going to say, just think about what's in your future as the restaurant industry expands to the use of cannabis tasting, like wine tasting nights and
Yay.
cannabis infusion restaurants. And if you want that allowed to be outside or not. I mean, this is what they have out in California.
Talking specifically about the tobacco businesses, which they refer to, right?
So, but this is,
Smoking shall be prohibited in a tobacco business.
except smoking shall be permitted on no more than 2 floors of that
5
building
days.
occupied by the business. So
What's
therefore,
the
they,
5 days gonna be?
In the manner that it's described in the act, which we don't have. So I don't know what that means.
You can,
I know that's-
Zach can Google that and put it up. But yeah, they protected the tobacco businesses.
they did, because it's
Yeah.
not, if they're just talking about a tobacco business defined in the act. So whatever a tobacco business would be.
Your statement and your statement.
Correct, but
But
I would also say that no restaurant
Yes, exactly.
that
Okay, it's late and we're just babbling now. We need to actually put something down. So you didn't happen to look at the act. No.
That we're in
The
support
state
of
law?
it, as long as it's not adversely affecting
No.
businesses.
Yeah, and that's the environment, so we
Part
can't.
of an act we haven't seen.
What we don't know yet is how on-site consumption is going to roll out for cannabis. And so what we are kind of saying is that we kind of still support that, but I think we need to cover
I
ourselves.
didn't hear the beginning.
So what I don't think we're saying that we want to support smoking in tobacco shops, et cetera, is like the underlying point of like, we know on-site consumption laws and considerations are coming. And generally, we are not a fan, or I should say, I'm not a fan because they can inversely impact those around them. And so I don't want to agree to that. And then as bad as OCM is, and I'm happy to say that on record, and then they take that away. So that's why I'm not like jumping at like the negative impact of like tobacco shops or smoking considerations.
And-
I too do not want to negatively impact hookahs. I don't know places that you can go smoke, but that's just me.
That's right.
But I also don't want there to be a bunch of on-site consumption that we can't do anything about in the future.
And that's a good point. Now, the
Of
other thing,
weed.
the thing I'm gonna say, the 5-day limit in any calendar year, that's not about tobacco shops. That is limiting it, smoking tobacco and vaping nicotine to restaurants, bar, cabaret, catering hall, convention hall, hotel, or motel conference room. or other such similar facilities.
So you can.
And then in
smoke
6 months, they're gonna say, and add dispensary, and we're gonna be writing
Five
something
days
about
in
it.
any calendar year.
You can smoke 5 days a year.
Are we saying this doesn't include the law? You keep saying the act, but I'm not sure what the act.
I think
As well, because, and I don't
Well,
do, well, just to be clear, I don't smoke
This is the
cigarettes.
rule.
I don't even smoke weed. I don't.
This is the act.
In any case.
There's an amendment to the act, but we don't know what the act is.
It's getting late. People who do smoke or who did smoke in the past were literally directed to vape instead.
Yes.
Which is right. It's
It's
just another
dangerous.
promotion, another capitalist. So now they decided they don't want to go that route. They don't want to promote that industry anymore. And so now change the law. I think that that's kind of funky. And you know, like, if you can't smell it, if it doesn't affect anybody else, who cares? Let people vape.
We don't know what the smoke of actual secondhand smoke.
You don't know the and smoke, but this is
They
a
bring
big smell.
Okay, we know the impact of secondhand cigarettes.
But not the issue.
You
not
can still
the issue.
smell the
What's
vape.
the issue?
Yeah, you can.
Here's the law.
Here's the Smoke
Here's the.
Free Air Act.
That's really
Well,
tiny.
that's probably so long.
Yeah,
And
it's,
has
it's,
stuff
it's
in it.
miles long.
It has stuff in it that
If you
we
zoom in a little bit.
Okay, I'm still asking what,
Shows you the-
what do you want
The
to do?
I think it's
definition.
fine.
Very gentle.
Specific definition.
Let's
Okay,
put
so
the
we
hammer
need to
down on
actually,
it.
if we're going to do something, how many people want to do something? And how many people want to do something?
I'm gonna throw
about
this
this?
one more thing out, is if we don't comment on this, I think this is gonna pass anyway, which I
Yeah.
think generally we're fine
So-
with. So maybe we just don't make a comment at all and
Okay,
just.
so again, how many people, let's vote, how many
And then
people want to
if
comment?
issue can be then.
No.
How many people want to comment?
The-
How many people
Comment
don't
means-
want to comment?
What would we put in the comment again?
It's very
Okay,
general.
I need to see where we're going. How many people do not want to make a comment?
Okay.
And the doctor doesn't want to make a comment.
Yeah, there you go.
I actually, this is kind of funny, you know. They want everybody to smoke weed.
It does seem,
That's the
that's the
only
new
thing that's gonna be
industry
allowed.
promoting.
But also,
It's-
we
it's-
can,
No,
Acting absent from this.
as members of the public, so.
Okay, so we, as the committee has decided, I think, that we are not going to make a comment as a committee. So yes, the public can make a comment, because I think we need more clarity. So even though we're not making a comment, I think that if we can, we should attend this hearing. And would you please reach out and see if we can get more information? Because I don't know, I seriously don't know what we're.
Yeah, what's the result of this hearing? Is it, you know,
It's
is there
just
gonna
a
be a
required-
follow-up or what?
No, they're just.
Oh, that's comments. They want us to comment prior. It sounds like it's just an exercise.
So,
Yeah.
so this is a rule change, so agencies have discretion to change more specific parts of the laws, which are called, rules. So laws are made by the council, and then they give an amount of discretion to the agencies to make rules. And this is a rule change. So once they're required to have a hearing on the rule change, they read all the comments, they look at all the comments, and then they change the rule.
Yeah.
Okay, so those who didn't vote, there are a couple of you that didn't vote, either way. What
I
did you
voted
want?
yes.
Hmm?
I said yes.
You voted.
I didn't.
She's not talking to you.
I
Either
thought
way,
everybody did vote.
no.
They all voted
Some
no.
people didn't put their hands up.
There are a couple of people, there were more no's than yeses, but then there were a few people who didn't say anything.
Who
So if
abstained.
you want to say something, now's your time. If not, we're done.
Well, if we were to say something, I would be okay with the statement of we are in support of limiting smoking outdoors. As long as it
And in
doesn't,
restaurants.
and in restaurant, as long as it doesn't negatively impact
A
businesses that
smoking
rely
business, right?
on smoking. With the caveat that we would like to revisit it as cannabis becomes more integrated into restaurants and public spaces. Does that make
I mean, I
sense?
thought that was lovely.
Except
Yeah,
for,
I
like,
would,
they don't
it's
need
their,
to.
it's the first paragraph.
Wait, I want to hear. Go ahead, do it.
This
See what?
agency doesn't have anything to do with OCM, so they're gonna be like, sure, okay, whatever. And they're never gonna come back to us being like, okay, now let's readdress this, cause they don't touch each other.
They don't, right, UCM is state, and this is city. So they're two separate things. That's why they don't talk about cannabis in here. They can't.
Yeah,
Okay, so let's move on.
I still think all this is they have to change their rules to be in alignment with the law. And
Right,
they're
right.
asking, and they
Let's
go
move on. We gotta go back to
Con Ed.
DVC, and we're not commenting, and if you wanna.
If we're not commenting, that's fine.
Because the committee has to rule, I can't override, you know. All right, so we're gonna do 2 resos, as my understanding. We're gonna do 1 reso, we're waiting to get bullet points, but 1 reso is that we are asking that Con Ed be more responsive to projects that are going on, that they respond faster. Help me out if anyone is.
Yeah, we have a fastest DVC, we used at our regular meetings and now,
So
we
bullet points before we get to bullet points, but we're asking Con Ed. to be
Well, those will be the
responsive.
whereas and then
To be responsive for the specific projects that
Mm-hmm.
were presented.
Or to respond faster to projects where where they need to do some work.
Maybe the word respond isn't the word, because you want them to do the work.
Well, it's respond to
They need to
requests.
resource against the projects that are out there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Jill.
And I do expect them to have their side of the story.
Sure.
right, and that's gonna be
So that's
that
why I told them for them to come, when they used to come with DVC the same night.
I would like to say very specifically that the time frame that's taking them to respond is detrimental and hurtful to the community by extending these projects that hurt this community by,
4 months.
by many, many months. And that we need to, I think, be very specific that it's harmful to this community. That, as a public utility that answers to, our.
Make it succinct, because we got it right.
Yeah, the public utility that has an obligation to be staffed enough to respond to these situations in a way that does not cause detriment and harm to the community.
They also have to say what the detriment and harm is.
The harm is living with the
You're
construction.
not able to enjoy your morning coffee on weekends.
Yeah.
But it prolongs.
Traffic, pollution.
Traffic,
noise
pollution, danger crossing streets, uprooted streets.
Emergency vehicles.
Emergency vehicles.
But the idea is it's prolonging the
Delaying.
length of construction. Their
Necessary.
delay in responding is prolonging.
Yeah, we know that, but
It's
we're
like-
talking about something else right now.
But
That's
that's
the
what it
harm.
is.
That's part of that.
That's the harm. It's prolonging the construction time.
Can we ask?
And then
What
let's
I'm saying, the
I'm sorry, everybody.
No,
Let Mimi, go ahead, Mimi.
Can we ask the construction guys to quantify, even just for Worth Street over there by West Broadway? Like, because years ago, when the 3 of us went to go look at the Worth Street situation, which was still terrible, for years, like this one woman, her kid like never even knew the street without construction, right? Like, they were blaming the delay on Con Ed then too. And so if we could get our construction people, at least for just that one intersection, to tell us how many months they've been delayed.
But they just told us with Bessie.
Yeah.
Yeah, there was 4 months delay.
That's not one issue, though. Like, we need more and more and more issues. It's like Bessie Street's that long. On this one intersection, it was even longer.
Yeah.
Let me just tell you,
These other areas,
Luckily, it was like
we're not gonna get them to do that work for us. But we can get them to do the bullet points that they said they would do, which are where they need to have Con Ed come. And then I think we could just use
And
Bessie
it did
Street
tell us
as
to
the
make-
example.
On a recorded meeting, that every single project they went over was
Right,
delayed because of
because
Con Ed,
of-
every single
Right.
one.
Yeah, we can use the Bessie Street that it took 4 months to get them to come to do a 3-week project.
Yeah,
Right.
that's a
Well,
sentence right there.
I think we should also mention that this causes the project to blow past the budget.
Yeah,
Right.
and it costs more money.
Harms taxpayers.
Yes, it harms taxpayers.
So we talk-
When they used to come on a regular basis, was there a lot of this happening? The fact that the
Yes.
projects were being delayed
Yeah.
and all,
Yes, which is why we
even
asked
when
them
they
to
were
come.
coming?
Yes.
Were they responsive to what we were
I
doing?
think they got better, but at least we knew that they were aware of what projects their help was needed for the project to proceed. So I can't tell you that it's
And
sped up
sometimes
the
on the spot, they were
process.
able to figure it out, okay, we'll come and do it. All right, we'll
And
squeeze
it
you in.
also let us know that there was more communication
Yeah.
between Con Ed and the project.
And we should ask them to staff up or something if we can say that, because part of this is that they're not.
My personal opinion is, I don't think we can ask them to do that, that they know what they have to do. to
Well, that's
be
why I
responsive
asked
to the
the
project.
utility, they have a responsibility to be staffed enough to respond.
But again,
You could say
I
something
think-
In a timely manner.
Timely, yeah,
They're mostly contracted out.
Yeah,
whatever,
so-
it doesn't matter.
And even then,
but we're talking about the 4 months there, but they also told us about the 10-month delay, which I think if we're going with long delays, let's.
That's-
fulfill
that's-
them.
What you're saying,
It's a
and I
whole
agree.
year of
Right,
delays.
and,
Yeah.
I'm asking, are you writing this myself, or what are we gonna do?
That is like one day ever where we've been told there was a year of delays.
I agree.
The only thing I wanna say again
I
is
agree that
there,
if we had,
like, Con Ed is gonna say, well, the city is slowing us, they'll probably say the city is slowing us down on this thing for this. We're waiting for the city on this, we're waiting for the city on this.
Okay,
So,
but I still think
like,
it's
do you
worth-
wanna hear both sides, or do you wanna?
No.
No, we
No.
want to do the
Do you wanna do
I
a
think that
resolution
Rezo
that
is
says,
asking-
focus on the items, the bullet points that they send to us, say, look, these are, well, these pieces are things that, are on your plate. We want you to expedite these things.
And we wanna know,
Yes.
like, how long is it
Great.
gonna
We
take?
can do that.
And also, I think to ask them, as we were saying, I see just that they used to attend our meetings in years past, before the pandemic, even before the pandemic, they used to come to our meetings. And we would like to see if we can get a representative to come again to our
Every other
meetings.
month.
every
It
other
was
month.
fun, it was a whole team, just like they
Mhm.
did.
No, I thought Con Ed.
No, there was a whole bunch of them. There was several, no, there was several people.
their
I
communication
said their
team,
members, yeah, 1 or 2 people. And so we want, well, whoever, be it our team or representative or whomever to come to our meetings to be able to discuss at the meeting as CDC is, I mean, I'm just prattling on here, but we'd like representatives to
yeah.
come from Con Ed.
And that could be-
Simi, what- I'm sorry.
We'd like our elected representatives to pay attention to this, because they're the one who's supposed to watch Con Ed.
well,
I mean, they should be aware of this.
They've been, responsive to issues that we have raised.
I mean,
So-
specific issues we've raised,
I
but
wanna be a little fair to them, but they have been responsive and they've come to, they came
Who's
to-
they, the elected
Con Ed,
officials?
Con
Oh,
Ed.
Con Ed.
okay.
Yeah,
But I don't know what elected officials
Yeah.
are gonna do about this.
Well, I think, in a way, this is
open
almost,
charter.
when they're digging up these holes, it's almost like a biopsy. There's so much stuff down there that, I mean, this thing about these unsafe manholes, I'm really worried about
Yeah,
that.
that is,
Because here's what happens, if you really have to go in there, you
that's
can't go
a
in there.
separate, and I think we should
Yeah,
have a
this
third
is-
reso
Yeah.
about how do they determine, why is it that when DDC digs up a manhole, they're the ones to discover that it's unsafe? What is the process? Maybe you just need to ask Con Ed. What's the process? Like, why are it all of a sudden all these manholes that's being discovered by DDC that these manholes are unsafe?
And it's not only that, is that one of the major projects that they're working on is delayed because they found out that there was a major piece of problems that Con Edison wasn't even aware of, or wasn't even
The
there.
Murray Street.
Right, wasn't even dealing with.
Greenwich, and
That
then
could
West
prevented
Street,
a whole.
there's 2 manholes right now that are unsafe, and they only found out they were unsafe because
Because-
DDC dug them
right.
up.
So until the
But I think
manholes are
she's talking
fixed,
about the
then
default.
Con Ed can do, I mean, now it's like, what's going on here?
Well, Con Ed has to fix the manholes.
Right.
So Con Ed is the manholes.
Yes, because it's electricity. I'm sorry.
Can it be, I don't know if it would be this resolution or another, if we can find out, is there a mechanism or a way for Con Ed to do regular and serious?
Well, that's why I
We
said.
could ask that, yeah.
One would
Question
think they
asked
did.
that maybe Zach had, does Con Ed show up at these?
But he said they were supposed to do that. He didn't know why they weren't happening.
Yeah, do they come to the?
they are between our like local reps right now, but they're responsive by email and phone.
Okay, so I think we need to just ask questions.
Yeah.
Well, how do you respect manhole cover?
Yeah, invite them to the next meeting.
Yes.
Okay, so we'll invite them to the next meeting. There was something else that we had.
We wanted to do
that
the
was
city of
next
Yes.
meeting. No, there was something else that we wanted. no,
Constructions are?
Yes, that's a different resolution.
Oh,
I thought there was something else, somebody else we wanted to invite. Okay, so can we invite them to the next meeting?
I prefer that we didn't,
Why?
because they take a lot of time and we have the health matters.
No, we just want to know about.
They're very slow.
Very clever.
All these construction people, when they come, they take up the whole meeting and then people are sitting there waiting to hear.
All right, so let's just ask them
Two
questions.
meetings from now.
Yeah, okay, but in the meantime,
The same
maybe you can
meeting
ask
as
them how they
Stick with CDC.
do this.
Yeah.
I'm getting ahead.
No, it's.
We're at time.
All right, so what are we doing? We have one where we're asking.
We're kind of to speed up and resource against
And
projects.
Work closer with DDC.
Considerable construction projects in Lower Manhattan. Add some other stuff. and, Please expedite the outlined, bulleted.
Projects.
Projects that TDC will send to us, and please send a representative every
Sure.
month.
Whereas we currently have 7 projects that are delayed.
Well, we'll know from the.
Right.
Yeah.
They send me the little.
Do we need to put in the resolution, the ask for them to come to our meeting?
That's-
Isn't that just a separate thing?
I mean, we have to.
That's just like a.
I think
right?
so, like
Yeah.
resume attendance at our.
You want that in the resolution?
Yeah, yeah, and we'll ask them personally.
Love
We'll
us
ask them
always,
here.
XO.
Okay, can we vote on this?
Yes.
This outline? And then Zach will, and you know, you can call me, on Monday, I'm not working, we can work on it Monday, if you need me to come. Okay, so can we vote on this?
Yeah,
We got
second.
it? We got what we're putting in there?
Mm-hmm.
Three main things, the ask for them to come, ask them to speed up the projects, refer to the bulleted projects once we get them.
Mhm.
Wait,
Everyone-
one more, do we want to put in the harm it causes the neighborhood?
Mhm.
'Cause
That's, I
Okay,
think that's the
the
other stuff
costs.
that,
That
he didn't
their
say it,
delay
but
costs.
We're not voting on
Quality of life.
Don't say it.
quality of life issue, yeah.
Quality of the, quality of
All
life.
overruns and quality of
It
life.
delays projects,
Mm-hmm.
causes noise on weekends, because they have. that
Pollution,
storm,
danger
they have
crossing
that
streets, yeah.
It increases the cost of the
Storm.
Just
project.
traffic on weekends because they leave their thing in the middle of the street. and
Right,
our
right.
Vehicles can't get down the block, all that stuff that we.
Taxpayers' money, 'cause.
Yeah.
Okay. Kevin votes.
Right, we got it, but.
Second.
Thank you. All those in favor?
Aye.
Anyone against? No opposed, no, okay, so
Public.
you're voting on public members and four, okay, that's one reso. The second reso,
Online, anyone online?
oh,
Is there anybody
there's
online?
no one.
Jared.
Yeah, Jared.
Sorry, Jared.
I couldn't possibly oppose.
I couldn't possibly oppose, I like that.
Okay.
Oh,
The second reso, so in the old days, after 9/11, Robin Forst, who's now works for the mayor's office, was the community liaison for the LMCCC.
Mhm.
And we used to have them every other, Lower Manhattan Command and Construction Command. It was construction and something command.
Construction Command Center.
Center, yeah.
Yeah. And that we, I guess we're asking, who are we asking for this, the mayor? That we have a similar agency.
We should have a resolution.
Constructions are appointed as a liaison.
Over to when LMCCC
Sunset.
folded, that job for a year moved over to Department of Design and Construction. They were like the bringers together of all the other agencies that were doing stuff. And
But what happened to the construction czar? At one point, the city had a construction czar.
for each like community district or region.
No, it was a community, it was a construction czar for the city.
I don't want.
And they were supposed to organize the regions and the, you know, the areas.
My question is, this was a thing that Sheldon Silver got after LNCCC went away,
That's separate. There was the construction czar.
but I don't know.
Yeah, You know, remember, yeah, I,
But we want it specific for our community and we, you know, they can speak and they should do it every place else
Yeah,
too,
and,
but
no,
we want it.
and it goes back to the point that we are still suffering at the results of 9/11, even though.
Construction,
Sandy
It's still
too,
ongoing.
yeah, and Sandy.
Right, and we had, you know, the city encouraged all of this construction and residential growth. And as a result of that, we have all of these projects that are still, you know, old projects and new projects that are still delayed projects that are still going on. And we need to have some organization or some
Coordinates it all.
way of coordinating traffic, street closures, you know.
Even getting the
work
agencies
times.
there, even getting Con Ed to show up and keeping them on track.
Maybe, maybe not,
I don't know.
But somebody coordinating all
Coordinating.
these different
Right.
projects. Like somebody said that some DOT, whether it's a precinct issue, or, you know, there's so
Well,
many.
more than that, I mean, yes, maybe, but what it used to be was like, let's take by area. We have World Trade Center #5 starting, we have the, you know, the now, as Matthew said, we ran out of money, the stock exchange, but they're gonna start. We have the closure of the street, what is it, 10th Street. We have the 10th Street project, not 10th Street, it's a closure.
It is 10th Street.
It is 10th Street.
It is 10th Street.
No, Dave Street.
It's after CC for free.
Oh, what are we looking at?
The czar?
Yeah.
The constructions are? I touched something, I'm sorry. Quality of life in place includes safety off hour work, noise, air, dust, congestion, scaffolding.
Oh,
and everything.
responsibility, okay.
Oh, so responsible to coordinate local building projects resided within the Lower Manhattan Construction Command Center from 2004 through 2013, when that agency was abolished. With many of its functions taken over by the city's Department of Transportation. But the DOT now plans to disband the office of its Lower Manhattan Borough Commissioner, which assumed most of the LMCC's responsibility. So that's a long time ago.
Construction, those 2016.
Yeah, so that's a long time.
And that was disbanded then, so now we have nobody at all.
But it made me,
And now the DOT is
Now
in
that-
business of liquor
I
licenses.
just wanted to ask somebody to come, and there was something in there that that I just read that I can't remember. Who else do we want to ask to come?
The divers.
The
DOT. What's that DOT want to ask us? The divers, yeah. I can't, Anthony, sure. Yeah, I can't. All right.
I don't know who else, what about the Scott and.
Think about
We included resilience.
drafting this, maybe doing a little more research, drafting for next month.
Yeah, I think the LMCC.
Yeah.
Actually, that's a really brilliant point in terms of.
The
I think
construction
we should
side.
add it, yeah.
New York City, we have the
Speak up.
oldest infrastructure.
Yeah.
We should have, and we're having all these problems now, we are requesting a command center to help us go over this.
Also with the,
I have one suggestion, you know, this position should be permanent because
Yeah.
it's such a vital part, like, something happens down here, let's say that what happened at Second Avenue, you know, Fulton Street, F train, everything, we are actually an international hub of everything, commerce,
So you
transportation.
know what, it won't have to be permanent, because we're gonna run out of places to build.
Yeah.
So it's permanent for the next 20 years.
Manhattan doesn't sink.
I mean,
There's
you can
been
keep
that-
revising.
there's-
No, but I mean, we don't have,
Manhattan
they're
doesn't
only
sink.
the whole infrastructure.
Every city, there's a benefit, there's basically just like the scaffold, right? They want to keep digging up the road.
Yeah, they'll always
Because the
do
guy
it.
who paid the road, if you don't keep digging up, dude, this is how
It's a business.
people get rich.
Yeah.
Okay, so, but you can get rich, but there's a situation here where you can't keep doing this because this particular area is important. It's a vital national, international zip code.
Which they
This-
keep telling us.
Something
Yeah.
bad's gonna happen, you
Right.
know?
so,
Maybe?
the resiliency construction is gonna, there's
They
a
need to
lot of
pay,
it.
that's a thing to bring up
No,
too.
yeah,
It-
so,
Yeah,
I
just
was
be
trying to-
aware
I was trying to remember, the other person we wanted to come was the borough president's office
Oh, yeah.
to have the discussion about the scaffolding.
Yeah.
They
That's
told us
scaffolding.
they have a new scaffolding law, and we've heard nothing about it, and I don't see anything that's happened. So we want to have the borough president come By the next month.
Scotland just went up around my house.
I just walked around your house.
The mayor was all over the news initially.
Yeah.
Being scaffolding, he's gonna shut people down if they don't get rid of it, and then
a woman got killed in Brooklyn.
it went away.
Just recently.
Okay, what else do you need from us? You okay?
I'll draft your resolution.
Friday, we
send
can
it
talk.
to you.
Friday, we can talk. Monday, we can talk.
Yeah, send it to you.
I'm at work tomorrow, so I can't talk. Friday I can talk, Monday I can talk. Okay, so this, we're gonna go for it for now. We're gonna try to get this. Jared, you still there?
Yes.
Yes, okay. We're gonna try to get the
Con Ed.
the Con Ed, we're gonna try to get that reso done for this month. And the LMCCC, we can hold on until next. Okay, yes, everybody? Okay, so let's vote on the Con Ed reso.
We voted.
We did, we voted on the Con Ed one, we said.
We didn't vote on grants and the elementary.
You're kicking out.
Oh, right.
Right.
Picking the
So I
LMCCC the
think
next
we
year.
are-
Oh, and also it's Robin.
Yeah, I thought there was one more resolution.
It's in the mayor's office now. Maybe it
We're
was
pushing what's
community
The
liaison
Ellen, whoever that.
for the
Okay, that's
LMCCC.
next month.
Normally she's online, I don't know, she didn't come because probably it's just all these projects. She comes when it's Broadway still. All right, so we done?
Yes.
Anything anybody wants to bring up for next month? What are we gonna be discussing? Get some help. Yeah.
The OTC card, so the OTC card is this new program that's part of many people's insurance companies. You may not know about it, you may know about it, you may have seen like in CVS and Wayne Reed, just some of the products, they say that this is OTC eligible. Depending upon what kind of plan you have, you can buy all of it or some of it or whatever, but it's not accepted in enough stores. And in fact, in our area, it's very limited. I've known people that have had to go to Brooklyn, someplace by the Barclay and Parkway in order to use their card, which obviously this is ridiculous. So,
What is it, Mariam, an OTC card?
It means like over the
it's
counter.
like a benefit attached to health insurance that allows for you to get other products, sometimes fresh food, sometimes like toiletries.
Yes.
Insurance pays for it.
Got
Right. Exactly.
Wait, it's not like a health.
It's like a health, yeah, a healthcare spending card.
Dr. Jimmy knows.
This is what happens when independent pharmacies
Take it.
cannot afford the rent.
Right.
This is the problem.
Yes,
Because
they gotta pay for it.
in neighborhoods that are, lower income, they still can exist.
Yeah.
Rent's not that high. But we just happen to live in one of the,
Yeah.
so now you get these cars that you gotta go to a
Yeah.
different neighborhood to get it. Because everything's owned by everything's owned by CVS.
And
If
they don't
can
take
get
it.
your food.
And they're all
And,
closing.
Exactly, right, and they're closing.
I don't think they're very,
Well,
very.
they're not closing, they're closing, they're out, they're.
A lot of
moving
places
out.
have closed.
A lot of Walgreens.
But be aware that a lot of CVSs are not gonna do each one, they're gonna.
What they
Right.
want you to do is get an app and then they'll deliver the medication.
Yeah.
to your home. People.
I want to get rid of people, that's it, exactly, you're so right.
But it's like, Chinatown, because of language and all that kind of stuff, these independent pharmacies still exist and rent is cheaper. But, oh my God, I mean.
That's
you know,
insane.
So even in Chinatown with this program, because one of the district leaders for that, for further into LES in Chinatown, by like, maybe like by Gouverneur Hospital, for example. His district is over there. They were finding that those people in those communities had nowhere to go to use these cards. So a lot of times the benefit was being wasted, was being lost. And then in many cases, they need this stuff, like they, or they were allowed to go into a Dwayne Reed somewhere, but let's say you're allowed to buy fresh food. You don't want to get that prepackaged fresh food from a pharmacy. You want to be able to go to a grocery store.
Yeah.
But Key Food doesn't accept it. So this is what was found. So that district leader went to Chris Marte. Chris Marte had a press conference about a month ago saying that he was going to work on a bill to expand this. And that's when I decided I wanted to bring it here.
I think that's a great
Yeah,
idea.
Just like Con Ed, pharmacies are highly state regulated. You
Right.
can tell them that, look, you know what, during CVS, right? You have to accept this, period.
Right.
Otherwise, I'm not gonna give you the license.
That's what, that's
a
what
really good
Chris is
point.
working
understand.
on, something that makes it mandatory for establishments to accept it.
So maybe we need to invite if it's state regulated, maybe we need to invite the state officials as
We
well.
might need to invite the state officials, depending on how far we want to go with it.
So when
we want to understand.
People need to even know about it.
Yeah.
I don't have the benefit. They don't even realize that they have it. So just even a presentation that this thing exists and you could perhaps be, getting.
Let me just
In
say
the
something.
newsletter.
So next month, we're supposed to have the borough-based jail.
Next
We're
month.
supposed to have, remember, every other month, so we're supposed to have a borough-based jail discussion, we're supposed to have Water Street project discussion with EDC. We want to have do you have another health issue?
I feel like I did. I have to look at
Think about it.
the email I sent you, because there was stuff that I had to
Jill.
talk to Tim.
Does everybody know Jill?
Oh,
Hi, you all remember Jill?
Maybe some-
Jill. Okay. And Jill's gonna be our specialist on World Trade Center number 5. So, do you have something you want to discuss about World Trade Center?
Trade
number 5?
Center number.
The next month's meeting?
Thank you.
You could at least update us.
Yes, so, as a matter of fact, we have, an email form going around right now to our state, officials, to all our elected officials. Because while we have, what's it now, 400 units?
400 affordable units.
Yeah.
20% of all total units in the building, which is 1,200 units.
Yeah.
20% of those allocated to 9/11 survivors, first responders.
Don't tell us now. Tell
Okay.
us next month.
So anyway, there's still this small window of time through April where we can increase that number. And
Through at least April.
and there is money to be had from HUD and there's money to be had from Berry
Okay.
Park City.
So you're going to work with us to figure out who we need to invite for your topic for next month, so Zach.
But what she's saying is there's things that the community board has already passed, or already supported, written resolutions on, that we have a letter going around now that you can just click a button and send a letter to the officials saying,
Yes.
we want
So
this.
are you going to let Tammy knows this also, so it can go into the newsletter?
Yes.
So we should.
Mimi, are you still working on the newsletter?
I am, when I'm not on vacation.
Vacation now. So are
This
you
is why
going
you're
to, Jill,
Yes.
you're gonna get this information emailed to
Mimi.
I am
Mimi,
indeed, yes.
Zach and Tammy and Mariama, so that they can go on the newsletter?
Yes.
Yeah, Timmy has
Okay, so who else has something for next month?
Oh, no, we're gonna talk about the discovery. So when the DA's office came and they were pushing their proposal for changes to the discovery law, and I said, hold off, because I wanna also have the not the opposing side, but, legal aid or, public defender's office or somebody here, so.
That's all next month.
That's a lot.
That was next month.
It's a lot.
A lot.
What?
The discovery.
Like legal
Legal
discovery.
discovery, so yeah.
Legal for what?
Depositions or give me your.
Like, remember the DA's office, the guy sat there, and he was like,
Changes.
Do they have to?
Apparently.
I guess we can move it again.
Because that's a lot. But then the following month.
But that was one of the things that I've been pushing it out since October.
but maybe the jail won't be so bad next.
Oh, I doubt that.
You also have 110 William Street.
Oh, right, 110 William.
Oh, right. Well, what?
Wait. Did we do the discovery thing? Is that an executive committee thing? Is it quality of life? Or is it a secret?
I mean, it was quality of life the first time. The DA's office came here.
But
But-
that does sound like it's
It could be
broader.
broader. I mean, if we did that, we could do it
Agenda?
sooner.
Yes, we can work on the agenda offline. Okay, remember, Jared? Remember you had something you wanted, it may not be for next month, but would you send us an email with the topic that you wanted to bring to the committee?
Oh, yeah, it was just at the base of 1 Center Street, you have those 2 food kiosks, which seem like prime locations for public restrooms, given that they haven't been developed in 4 years.
Okay, can you send an email, a little short email, so that we know what the?
Can. Will.
We have
Thank you.
bathrooms at.
Anybody else who has
Jail was one of the items, but it wasn't they weren't supposed to talk about everything having to do with the jail. They were supposed to specifically talk to us about the increased capacity of the jail. Do you remember that?
That was not the construction project, that was.
That was the item that I kept pushing out at everything.
Okay, so that's,
So I don't know if they're gonna talk about everything when they come, but they were,
No,
we
'cause they're
wanted
only
to
talking
hear
about
only
deconstruction.
about
So we want jail, you want to talk.
Population, right?
We wanted to hear about the increased population,
Okay, population.
that they were changing the size.
Not do all of these.
And
No,
schematics.
but this
We're just gonna have to figure out.
How to
what we-
do it.
But anyone else who has any topics that they want to bring to quality of life, please send a short email to Zach and Mariama and I so that we know what the topic is.
Yeah.
Jill, you have something else?
Yeah, like what a topic, I want to kind of resurrect the Affordable Housing Subcommittee.
That's fine, we can talk about that. It's 20 after 9, thank you.
Got it.
This is the big committee, I appreciate all the work, and thank you for trying to clarify this, everybody. And we will.
Motion to adjourn.
Great, we're adjourned, we can stop the recording.
If anybody else
So
has
let me
taken those letters, just let
You
me
know,
know.
I'm gonna add them now, so I can